what's going on, guys? What is going on, everyone? Shout out to my soulmates. I see you guys in the chat. Shout out to everybody that has joined us in the very, very beginning. You know, I love you guys so very much. If you have not yet, I see you 19 people here. If you have not hit that thumbs up button, I will give you a minute. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please definitely take a moment and subscribe. We have some amazing content here. I have amazing people here. One just left, but I am sure she will be back. Okay. But tonight we are here for the live panel review. We're going to be discussing Ready to Love episode number 12. This is the live reaction watch party. So I am so excited to be reviewing this. You guys know this has been a journey. I can't believe we are here because episode 12 is what? Decision Day. So, and we have the lovely SHAREESE here that's joining us from Ready to Love Miami. So excited that you could be here with us tonight discussing episode number 12. So we're going to go around the room, and I want you guys, and you guys know I get everybody to introduce themselves in the beginning, and we do it at the very end, just in case if you don't catch it in the beginning, you catch it in the end. You don't catch it in, you catch it in the beginning. So we are going to start with P.O.
Hey, what's up? It's P.O. Paul from season 5 or 6, whatever, however you determine. Ready to Love. I'm here on Instagram somewhere, 100 sightings. So yeah, and I'm here to cause ruckus. No, just kidding. Just
Except
kidding.
you're not kidding. No, just.
I mean,
I'm Jamie Alexander. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram under this name here. Make sure you spell it correctly. You can check out my YouTube page. I have my own shows like Kings Speak, and just other gems and jewels that I have to share with people. So check me out on YouTube and on Instagram at this name here. I'm an on-camera host personality.
What's up, everybody? Tyrone E. Wilson. I was on Ready to Love DC. I'm currently in Memphis, this is where I'll be for a while, helping out with moms. Always a pleasure to be on the panel. Sabrina, thank you so much for having me, as well as the other guests, SHAREESE, Jamie, Paul. It is going to be really, really fun. And, I look forward to having this conversation. So let's go.
Okay. I am SHAREESE from the current season, Ready to Love Miami. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me at my company, Logan Skincare, SHAREESE Logan. And if you're ever in Miami, come see me for a facial.
And also, too, SHAREESE, don't you have a YouTube channel?
I do have a YouTube channel. I just started. I'm learning from you guys. So yes, follow my YouTube. It's Logan Skincare. Thank you for that, Sabrina.
You are more than welcome, because I want all of you guys to, when we leave here, you guys go over to every last one of their channels, subscribe to them, go to their socials, and definitely follow them. Because, us Ready to Love family, we really, really do stick together. And I have a feeling that it's going to be some amazing things in the works for us in the very, very future. And I definitely want to put this disclaimer out. I've already told my panel, and I'm going to let you guys know. My daughter is sick. She has a very, very high temperature. I am here today, but I will be in and out, checking on her, making sure she's okay. So, because I know you guys, y'all are like loyals. Y'all are like, what's Sabrina? Why she keep leaving? Where she gonna keep going to? So that is the reason why I will be dipping in and out, just checking on my daughter. All right, guys, love you so very much. Now, before we get started with the review, I like to go around the room, especially with this being the last episode number 12, Decision Day. I want to go around and I want you guys to give me your thoughts on, did this episode turn out how you expected? Just a quick 2-3 minute brief summary of it, and then we'll start with the review, starting with Paul. You're muted. It's okay.
Paul, we can't hear you.
oops. All right. I knew there was a mute button somewhere. All right. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So it didn't work the way that I thought it would. I was shocked what at the Swayze thing. I was like, wait, what? Okay. Yeah, that took me out of here. I had no it was crazy. And then also too, because of my experience of being on the show,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that there would have to be at least three people. Like I thought they would have, tried to drag that out, but I guess they learned, throughout the seasons how to kind of really, let it let it play out naturally. Um as for the Mike and what's her name, Brandy, I was like, I was I I mean, I don't know. For some reason, I never got a feel that Mike was into Brandy like that. I never got that. I thought that he was, I don't know, maybe like kind of, on the fence between both. So I mean, that's what I was getting throughout the season. I mean, I thought that was crazy, but I figured that um uh come on, Rara was going. I figured he was going to pick his girl. I saw that coming. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, PO. I didn't really see the Swayze and Cadian breakup in the beginning happening, but aside from that, I really felt like Kayla was the star of this show. It was funny. She cracked me up the whole damn time, and I loved it. Just because it just gave me just reality TV, and Sabrina had Kayla on a couple of weeks ago, and I was getting that energy from her, but now I'm like, okay, we're actually getting to see her. All of the voices and oh my god, it was freaking hilarious to me. So that was a little unexpected, but I was here for it. And what I didn't love so much is this whole the Mike and Randall and all the dragging along. As a viewer, I would have really loved to see more of a decision made, maybe like within the last couple of episodes, so I could actually be excited
right.
when they made their not proposal, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Just the part where they're like, okay, this is the choice. This is what I'm doing. I would have been much more excited if it wasn't like, I still don't know. And I don't know how I'm feeling. And that's just too much for me. So yeah, it actually showed exactly the way I expected to, because that's what they've been doing for the past 8 episodes. So.
Yeah, I'll go. I honestly thought that they would focus more like on the growth and the positivity of the relationships, but in all actuality, it felt like a group date from like week 4 or week 5. You know what I mean? And plus, it seemed like it was a lot of filler thrown in with Kayla and everything. And I was like, are we still meeting family? Are we still unsure? Was this shot before the mansion? Like, didn't we all just spend a whole weekend together? Like, everybody should be booed up at this point if you're on the screen, right? Watching this show. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But, within the first 10 minutes, half the cast that was left is gone. So I'm like, what the hell is going on here? You know what I mean? So,
Man,
it's kind of underwhelming, especially to see so many people still undecided. You know what I mean? And you don't really see you know, that growth in a relationship where a person is actually like, this is my person. I don't care who knows, and is willing to show it. We weren't seeing any of that at all. So a little bit underwhelming.
mhm.
Do I comment as well? Even though I
Sure.
was.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, please.
Yep. we
So
want to
you
hear your thoughts.
want to know what I thought of it?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, how can I say I was there? I wasn't surprised. I'll tell you that that's Kate, Swayze and Cadian's relationship. That has always been their relationship. So I
Mhm.
wasn't surprised with that part. I think it was surprising, but it really wasn't, because they had so many moments like that. Like you saw where he got up and left, and they had that fight with the dinner, and I just think it wasn't shocking for me. Kayla, like you said, I love Kayla. She's amazing. She's so talented. She's my girl now, and throughout the show I was like, this girl is so funny. She's made for this. So I think that's very accurate. Mike and Brandy definitely had something, for sure. So I wasn't surprised with that. And Jamala and Randall, it was kind of crazy. Well, see, Randall was always Jamala's person in the lounge, because that's when you really get to find out who's speaking up for who. And you
Right.
get to compare notes. Because a lot of times I didn't even know who was going out with who, because until you get to the lounge, you find out. So the whole with all of that, the Kayla and Mike and Randall, it did start to get a little uncomfortable.
Hmm.
So, but I think that our season, we're in Miami, and I think it was very challenging. It's already challenging in itself. There's huge age differences in Miami. I remember when I was doing my interview for the show, I said, I wouldn't be single if I would go out with somebody my dad's age or my grandfather's age. It's very much like that here, the age group. And then it's like now that I'm in my 40s, the guys in their 30s want me because the guys my age sometimes in Miami, they want a younger woman. So I just think that our show just showed like it's difficult out here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we see what they do with that age differential next season.
Yes.
So, Sharese, I don't know if you can confirm this, but did they shoot another season in Miami? Like, are they showing like the next season? Is it going to be in
I
Miami?
can confirm that.
You said you can't.
I'm not sure if I can.
Okay.
Oh, no one else is listening. Just let us know in the room.
This is a space.
I heard a rumor that
I'm gonna call you Sabrina.
Oh, I heard a rumor they're already done.
Me too.
They're
already done, and that's why they're going to Dallas.
Family, right?
Yeah, they're already done.
You never know.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the All Stars to see who's all going to be on the All Star.
That's gonna be fun.
I hope there's never an All Star.
What's the All Star?
I want to see that.
What's the All Star?
Where
just a couple of people,
just where all the castmates that did not make a connection from all the seasons come on and have like a super ready to love.
That would be crazy.
That would be so crazy.
Insane.
It's crazy how you meet people from other seasons,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And some of them start dating. I mean,
yeah,
and are successful.
That's true.
Wait till y'all see our reunion.
Oh.
Well, I heard, but I'm just ready to see it. I mean, just from the little bit that we saw, the clips that we saw at the end of this episode, I was like, oh my God. Like, I mean, I think we, like DC, kind of started it, and we just created.
Oh, yes. Y'all's was off the chain. That was like, that was wild.
Yeah, I haven't seen. Yeah, I haven't watched our reunion yet.
So,
on tape, I mean on TV.
Yes.
I never watched it. I was there, so I never watched it to see how that is.
Sharese, are you allowed to say when the reunion was taped? Like, was everything done already when they got to the reunion? Like how what am I looking for? Like how much into the season was it when they did the reunion?
We were done.
Okay. Because I was thinking, are we still mad? And how did it even get to that?
What? It was so crazy. I promise you, how are you still mad? I promise you. I said I cannot. I don't have the energy, and I don't want to leave the show. I already had too many things that I got into with people. I do not want to go to the reunion and fight. It was the last thing you want to do. But our reunion was spicy.
Yeah.
We heard.
Yeah. They showed the preview, and
every time you looked up, it was a fight. I mean, I was just like, wow.
Yeah. We saw the preview, and your reaction, I said it was justified. I was like, at this point, you know what I mean? You kind of have to react that way. if someone's gonna say what they
It's
said.
a shame. Well,
like
some
that,
of us
you know?
didn't want to react that way. Some of us really did try not to do that, but there was a certain one that came there ready to fight. And she had already told me, I'm going to cuss you out at the reunion. I said, you go right ahead. You'll be cussing yourself. I won't be listening. It'll be going in one ear and right out the other.
Oof.
Because I have the ability to do that. I can listen.
That's a tough decision to, do you show up yourself, save face, be a grown woman and whatever? Or do you at some point match energy? Because it's like, okay, but you're not going to punk me though. Like,
Right.
No matter what.
Thank you. That's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to see. That I'm like, what? Oh.
So let me just make this quick statement. I see this JL asked questions for Sharreese. Did Samson pop off at the reunion? So I will say this, guys. Try to put questions in the comments that we can actually ask her and that she can
answer. That already happened.
Because you guys know if the reunion hasn't happened yet, you know she can't talk about it. So of course, like we want to know too, but we know she can't tell us.
I did see one question.
Someone asked what kind of car he has. It's it's a gold Lexus 19 something. Like, the bubble one?
Oh, yeah, the 91.
The little 2-seater?
I had that, the LS400.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I remember that from back in the day.
That
was my favorite car.
Yeah.
I want that. I had the same champagne as the one that I had. I want that.
Yeah, I know.
I wanted that at one point. Cool.
I want it back.
I'm sure you can get one at an auction or something.
Yeah, that thing, when I sold that car, it had 275,000 miles on it. But
it's a classic. It's a classic.
See, someone said it's paid off.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I didn't have a problem with his car. Like I've dated guys that I'm not into that. I have a nice car. I pay my car, and that's all that matters. I mean, his car is his car. Samson worked and he had a company car for a long time. So he really didn't have a need to get a car, is what he told me. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hey, I say.
But I know that when I was in high school, my boyfriend had that car. I do know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that car. Maybe I have to barter with him and try to get that out off of him and upgrade him.
You could ask him if you could get it cash, about 5,000. What you think it's?
But if he didn't come up off it since the 90s, I doubt he's going to do it now.
No, he won't sell that.
Yeah, sounds like it's his baby. He probably
might be able to get it for about 3,500.
That's about what I paid for mine. Nah, I'm sorry. I sold mine for that. I paid for it.
Somebody asked me, did I see Mike get closer to Kayla behind the scenes?
What?
Y'all want the tea? Y'all want me to get messy, huh?
It's just a question. And
I know that at the getaway, he definitely surprised her and came in her room with a towel on.
Hold on, say that again.
He came in her room at the getaway with a towel on. I do know that.
So Mike went into Kayla's room with just a towel.
Was
it hot? Was y'all broke?
Sabrina. Was it costume night?
No, it was a night. And it was so funny because me and Swayze and Katie were coming upstairs and we looked and it was like we were just looking like some snoopers, like some real nosy ass people. Like, and Katie and she like, and we're like.
I think the question is, did you see him leave the room?
Yes, because he went back to Little B, baby.
Okay. Whew.
Wowzers.
Yeah, we're on a roll. This has been a shit. I mean, shoot.
Well, I can't get Donna D. I can't get any of the ladies voted off. I don't have those type of powers to vote any of the ladies off. So, yeah.
Wow.
Hi, Stacy.
Yes. Hi, Stacy. Hi.
Hi, Stacy.
Thank you.
Hey y'all, sorry I'm a little late.
It's okay.
That's okay.
So Gus wanted to know, Gus couldn't join us tonight, guys. Just to let you know, if he can, he will try to join a little bit later. Because I know you guys love Gus. But Gus says, was it a toga party? Like maybe it was a toga party. Maybe that's why he had on his towel.
No, because he had just gotten out the shower.
Oh, so he was fresh and clean. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just was reading. Okay. Wow.
Somebody said looking like he was looking in the Insta. Yes, like that.
Oh God! Wow.
Okay.
But he slept with. I mean, he ended up sleeping with Brandy though that night, though, right? Like they ended up staying together. He just visited Kayla first.
Right. Kayla had the queen's quarters. I was mad. I wanted that.
Yeah.
She had the master bedroom.
Yeah, I had the master bedroom when we went on our trip too. Unfortunately, no one stayed in there with me. I was by myself. So, well, Stacey, we were actually discussing how everyone felt this thus far, and were you expecting what happened on episode 12 to happen? Like, what were your thoughts? I guess not on thus far, but what were your thoughts on episode 12? Did it turn out how you imagined or pictured it was going to turn out?
You know, I don't know, it was like one big surprise of the episode. Well, I mean, I guess like two. And I gotta hand it to you, Sharreese, how you did own your moment and leave as gracefully as you chose to, and you didn't let anybody else write that narrative for you. Like, I appreciate that. But hold up. But I was so tickled though, because I was like, I thought Sharreese left, but she's still over there. when the fire, I said, "Is that Sharreese in the corner?" I was tickled. I was so tickled.
Oh, it was so crazy. When I got there, everybody was like, "Where's Samson?" I'm like, I had to let him go.
Oh, well, we can go ahead and moving forward because I have those notes and the pictures. So let's discuss that. Since you went ahead and brought that up, we're just going to go ahead and skip around tonight. We're just going to skip around. Okay, because I got to find my spot. So in the, oh, no. We're gonna go all the way. We're gonna go. So that happened towards the end, right?
What part? Her
Shareese's part.
That was the very beginning.
The show opened up.
Yeah, that was at the beginning.
Oh, is that the very beginning?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Because I left.
Oh, here we go. It looks Jamal about Tommy.
It looked like it felt good coming out.
Tommy. Okay, so Tommy shows.
It looks like what?
It's 8:30.
Did I read that right? It looked like it felt good coming out of your mouth again.
Honey, that smile.
When I self-eliminated?
No, when you was explaining to the group what happened.
Yeah, what happened with Samson.
Oh, yeah. I was very happy that it was over.
So Tommy shows up. He asks where Samson is. Sharreese says, he ain't here. She says that they met up last night and she gave him the opportunity to show her something, for him to show her something different, and he didn't. She told him that he wasn't ready to love, and she feels like she made the right decision. She mentions that it was a hard decision, but she made the best decision for her. She stands up there, with Tommy pretty much, and she tells the group that she is no longer a part of this journey. As Sharreese walks off, Katie does tell Tommy that she also has something to say and states that maybe Swayze should join her. So let's discuss. Let me get my pictures ready.
I love that moment. It's probably one of the only moments that's made sense in this. Samson was, genuinely, from what we could see, one of your main connection. You're really your only connection at this point as the show, moved forward. So it was like, if he's gone, stay for what? I'm so confused as to what all the laggers are doing when the connections really aren't real. So I appreciate it for the realness. Just like, he's gone and I'm gonna go ahead and go. This is what had happened. It was cool. I'm happy. I'm optimistic about the future. And thank y'all for being here. Like, done and done.
And even before that moment, it was very hard for me to make that decision because Samson and I really was trying to give him a chance.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I still wasn't getting through to him. And I wanted him, if you notice, like doing elimination date, I was waiting for him to say something different. And that's all I wanted. And I wouldn't have, things would have went different. But then when he started treating me the way that he did, that's when my intuition and everything started coming back to me. Like, you're feeling this way because this is why, now he's really showing you how he feels about you. This is what you've been trying to get him to open up and say. How do you really feel? Because you can tell when somebody is. And I didn't want to leave the show and portray myself. I would have been more devastated if I would have left the show with Samson and then we tried to work on it and it didn't work out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was never going to work out. And I've learned, not to try to if it doesn't work, it does not work. I think he's harmless, but he's just not for me. We're just not a good match. I think we're great as friends,
Yeah.
He's good people, but he's just not. No.
Yeah. Sharby, real quick, guys. Sharby says, did production tell you to stay to announce that you were leaving?
No. Did production tell me to stay?
Mm-hmm. Like, she wants to know, like, did production say, come to this brunch that we're having and go up there and let the group know? And
well, they're producing the show, so they did tell me that to come to the brunch. Now, did they tell me what to say? No.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how it makes sense. Like, sometimes as the audience, because the last time we saw Sharreese, Samson left, you know what I mean? And not her. So if Sharreese had not shown up to the brunch, then it wouldn't have been a self-eliminate. It would have been like, oh, well, she decided to leave. So I like that you did come and that you can speak on your own behalf. But for it to make sense for the audience, most of the time you clock in and you clock out at your time. So if we wouldn't have seen you there, everybody would have been like, well, why Sharreese didn't show up? Like, it would have been a whole other wave of energy.
Agreed.
Exactly. Because when I did get there, they wanted to know where was Samson, and it wouldn't have made sense. They wouldn't have known anything. Like, well, where's Samson and Sharreese? So I had to be the one to go there since he was eliminated and I wasn't. I had to go there and let the other group know that, hey, I'm leaving. And I felt like I was surprised when Katie asked me to stay, and I knew something was going on with them too, because I had talked to her earlier that morning on the phone, but I didn't think that it was going to go that far, because they did that. And then they turned around and was in a restaurant together, texting us a picture of themselves.
So in that moment when you were sitting there and you and Samson was, having the dinner and you were there letting him know at the end that he wasn't ready to love, how did you feel in that moment by how he responded to you? Because I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, because honestly, I felt like, because and you and I, we talked previously before tonight, and everyone knows, because it's live and it's pre-recorded, it's on my YouTube channel, like how I felt about you in the very beginning. I was like, oh my God, is she not a mean girl? I hope she's not gonna be. And like, I fell in love with you towards the end. I just saw the growth, and I was like, wow, okay, like now I'm seeing, because I know also how they edit and how they want to portray, because in their eyes, we're characters. So they want to have your character look this kind of way. And as your character grew, I grew in love with your character. And that's what happened. But when I saw Zoe kind of react the way that he reacted to you, and then I kind of saw Samson, and I'm gonna say this, and I've read some of the comments like on the blogs and on Facebook and stuff like that, and they were saying how you provoke these men, but my thing is it makes me feel so sad that we live in a day and age where, because first of all, no one deserves to be talked to like that. Man, woman, whatever. No one deserves that. And for them to have, you can say what you want to say. It's just how you say things. Zoe could have said, unfortunately, Sharreese, like we're just not compatible. We're not this way. The way that he talked to you, like it made me embarrassed for him. And then to have Samson do that, not on that level, but it was just kind of like that, and for them to say that you provoked them, I'm like, so she has that much control over what did Jamala said, their testicles, that she can make them act out of character like this.
Well,
So can I
that's
just
what
say
people say when they're abusive. That's what an abusive person says. They say, look at what you made me do. I've been in that situation before. Right. And the problem I had with Zoe and any man speaking to you like that, the next thing you know, they're going to hit you, and that's exactly what abusive people do. They say, you made me do it. And I was just so shocked at Zoe. I mean, I really could not believe him. And then Samson shocked me.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say that there is a science to these dates, right? They don't put people together in dates just because they need filler space, right?
Right.
I mean, everybody that's been in this process knows exactly what you had to go through to get here, right? And they take that same data and they use that and they work with other people to create or to help contrive those types of scenarios, right?
Right.
Based off of the data that they already have, it's already predisposed, and so they just put it together and then they say, okay, this with this person will probably give us that energy that we want, whether it's great energy or whether it's terrible energy, right? And so they know exactly who to pick and who to put where and when, because they know the button pushers.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't think that, I say that to say this. I don't think that you know, I didn't get that you were a bad person. You know, I got that you would react in the way that a normal person would if they were in similar situations. But what they do is they probably put you in a lot of those situations to create that person, to make you look like that person that's all about the stuff.
I can give you a little bit of background on that Zoe date, and they can't make me. Sometimes I am with the shits, okay, but that Zoe time, that was like out of nowhere, okay. And he said that it was because of the barbecue comment, but you guys do realize that we all had this thing where we would say you're going to get barbecued, meaning you're going to get eliminated. Like when I go to, when I go to Swayze made it up actually, because the guy Sean who got eliminated, it started with him because they said I barbecued him because he was following me around at the mixer, and I was like, move. So anyway, the background on that is Zoe says it was because of the barbecue, but he was already upset before when we got there. He was already upset. He was already triggered. And if you notice the episode before that, Zoe and I had a conversation at the white party, and we were with Tommy's wife. So it's not that I thought, and Zoe was the type of guy that he just called every week doing elimination. He just tried to keep, he didn't have any real interest in anyone. He didn't have any real interest. And that's what I was trying to find out. Who is really here? He had no interest, and he was upset because we started comparing notes by then, especially Kadian, because she was gonna find out. And I was just the one that, was supposed to go over there and ask him, because it was okay, we're on these group dates, but we would talk to each other. Okay, who are you here for? You know, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to find out who are you here for if it's not for me. So for him to come out and say I was fake, and I'm like, you've never said that before. Where did this come from? You know, I was so, and then I didn't even really want to go play pool with him because of the way he was acting. You know,
So
before
where did it come from though when he said that? Where was he pulling that from?
the fake comment from something I think that him and somebody was having a conversation, and him feeling like I was fake because the time before him and I was at Tommy's at the white party, we spent some time talking. So I guess he felt like I was being fake when I said barbecue him because he thought he was safe with me. Because all Zoe wanted to do was just make sure he was safe with all the ladies so he could stay on the show with his shenanigans.
I think Zoe was bothered. If I'm not mistaken, didn't he have to have a sit down with Tommy like the episode before? And Tommy was telling him to do stuff? Because I feel like when he came into that whole situation, there was a false energy I could sense about him in the sense that, like, yeah, he got told something. He didn't like it. He already knew in his mind he couldn't pull up. So he came with this weird energy because he was already acting up when he popped Trinika in the head and was being all strange with the go-karts and this and the other. So he came with the sauce before the barbecue, okay? If you ask me from a viewer's perspective.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you didn't see the date he went on with April. Oh my. When she came and told us the way he acted on that date, that dude was not there for any of us. He's a joke, and you're going to see at the reunion what he was really there for. And I don't appreciate him, and I still don't appreciate him yelling in my face. And after that, he left the show. I tried to call him to say, you know, like, because I know my dad was going to want to talk to him. Like, who is this dude yelling in your face? All the guys were concerned for me. Because he didn't have to go there like that. He really
it was misplaced. That was misplaced energy. You just got the smoke.
It don't matter if it was misplaced or not. You still don't talk to anybody like that.
Exactly.
And on a dating show.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, his energy was off the entire night because you're on a date. You're supposed to impress upon women. You're trying to show that you're trying to have like a chivalrous spirit. And he's trying to actually win and beat out the women. This is when you let the women pass and you treat them like queens. Like, y'all know I've said it the entire time. Like, this season has been like, maybe it's because, you know, I'm Southern, you know? Yeah. So, like, I just feel like the guys are like, I'm the prize. And, you know, in this episode, we see that because the last two guys are the ones who is set up to ultimately pick and decide the fate of these three women.
So that's one thing that I don't like.
Well, you know, Ready to Love is told from a male's perspective.
We can tell.
Yes, I didn't realize that. That's why all the women be looking like basket cases.
Sharisa, I got a question about the date with Samson, and we went back and forth on this. So I think something that would add some clarity is, was there anything that occurred during the date that we didn't see on screen? Because I know it's edits and stuff.
Right.
I feel like most of Zoe's date, I feel like we almost saw that in its entirety, right? That whole conversation. But was there anything that occurred during the date with you and Samson that we didn't see that helped you lead to the decision about him not being ready?
And to make his actions justified.
Yes. So remember that I was in the lounge with the ladies, and the information they gave me was very shocking. And at this point, I was already like, my antenna was up. So that's when y'all saw I went on a date with LJ, because I started telling the ladies, well, listen, I can't put all my eggs in one basket if Samson is really acting like this. So I was just paying attention to how he was on camera and off camera. And some of the off-camera behavior started getting very questionable. And what you didn't see was when we left the lounge, I called Samson 99 times. Samson had never not answered me in all this time. He would not answer the phone. I waited for him to come on that date for 3 hours, is what y'all didn't see.
3 hours?
So
3
I don't know how
yeah,
production
I don't
allows.
know. Yeah.
So
I don't know
you
if you,
see how when he came and I was like, you better sit down.
so I don't know if you saw the back and forth that we had on the panel last week. Like my main complaint was the extra belittling that he was
Yes.
doing afterwards, right? And we went back and forth about that. And Paul was talking about, a little bit about the manipulation and cameras and production and all
Very
that.
manipulating.
So I don't know if you can answer, but we did ask Jamala last week if there was growth from him at the reunion because, we talked about, he had the opportunity after the date to say something, to take accountability for something. He had the opportunity in the confessionals to also say something, and both of those were bad. So the last chance, I'm thinking, is the reunion for him to say, hey, you know what? That wasn't me or anything like that. Is there anything you can speak to about that?
That's another thing. That was another thing. Like I can't leave a show with somebody. I'm very self-aware, and I think that it's important to be that way. You have to take accountability for your actions, and that's one of the things that's on my list with a man. Like you have to take accountability. Men grow by taking accountability. Some people don't see themselves. People who think that they're so positive and, I do yoga every day. That's not realistic. Every day is not going to be positive. You have a choice. But I don't think that Samson is very self-aware. I've seen him on some of these panels, and he presents himself as perfect. And I told him, I'm not a perfect person. I got the feeling he was looking for perfect Patty. That's not me. That's not me. I'm not perfect Patty. And that's what my dad was trying to tell him. Listen, my daughter is difficult. She done dated this type of man, that type of man. She done been through this, been through that. She's got her own money. He was trying to get a reaction out of her. It wasn't that out of Samson. It wasn't so much that he was talking about me, but he was keeping it real. Because it's not, if you go meet someone's parent and they tell you, my perfect, don't do anything wrong, perfect. That's not real. You're not going to get to know a person that way.
Can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
So real quick, so we had someone on the panel too, and they had mentioned while we were live that there was a breakfast or dinner or something that you guys all had, and you started talking about something, and Samson was like, we don't discuss that at breakfast, or we don't talk about that kind of stuff at breakfast. Like he was correcting you, like, no, don't do that. You need to do it like this. Like, was that true?
Here's the thing. That's what the ladies were saying. They were like, you're not going to be able to be yourself around Samson.
Right.
But I thought it was cute that Samson would sometimes tell me to settle down, because my personality, I like to have fun. Yeah. I like to have fun and laugh and make jokes. So it was more guys than girls. So I said, it was more girls than guy. And I said, all these chicks, and it's only 3 dicks or something like that. More chicks.
That's funny.
See, that's funny. And Samson was like, settle down. But I expect for a man to be like a little embarrassed, but he didn't. So they saw that. And yeah, Samson is more laid back. He was the calm to my storm. So when Samson was around, they didn't like that because they wanted the turned up Sharreese. They wanted Samson to go to bed. So
okay, because I was just like,
your man. Sometimes you're a little different. You're not gonna. So we were having breakfast, and I said it again, and I didn't realize he was right there. And I said about the chicks and the dicks again, and he goes, I don't want to hear about dicks when I'm eating my breakfast.
But that makes sense. That's why I needed clarity. But now I understand why he said I don't want to hear that. So I get that. So yeah. So I just wanted it to be clear. Like, was he trying to, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tyra.
No, that's right. So I have one question because I was curious about the sequence of events when, and I think this was a couple of, this was what, either episode 10, maybe 9 or 10. And you and Samson were talking,
Mm-hmm.
and you said something to him, and then you were like, you know, I just want to know where you stand. I want to know, what, like, tell me, what it is. Like, and then they showed him rubbing your feet.
Oh, the corn on the damn cob. Mm-hmm.
Right. So did he start that date out rubbing your feet, or was that on time? Like, did he start rubbing your feet after you asked him to get real with you? Or did he start
I
that?
think that rubbing my feet was a distraction from him
Hmm.
answering the question. Because if you notice that whole conversation, he was ducking and dodging. And I had given up once he said he couldn't wait to make me some corn on the cob. I was like, I have not been dreaming of this all my life at all.
I got one more quick question, Sharice. I'm often compelled to tell the castmates some of the things that I've said about them, right? So I
Right.
remember at the beginning, I was saying that I guess it was your outward appearance. I mean, not appearance, but your outward approach could seem abrasive, and it would make some people kind of recoil from that, right?
Mhm.
But over time, I said, Sharice grew on me because I started listening to what you were saying and not how you were saying it, right? And what you were saying made perfect sense. So, do you feel like some of the guys, and we're seeing that the guys, now that we're at the end, that a lot of the guys were just not, um, I don't want to say anything bad, but the guys were just not, being decisive and showing a lot of accountability. Do you feel like, they weren't able to overlook your initial abrasiveness?
Um, I think, and you're gonna see at the reunion, like me and the guys don't really have any problems.
Mhm.
I never really. I think that they respect the fact that I do keep it real. Mike and I had a lot of great conversations that weren't on camera. Even the whole baggage thing got cleared up. Randall and I have had deep conversations. I think that the guys have a better understanding of me now.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. From episode 1, they start to see that, like you said, maybe she's like Devin said, he likes it. He's like, I love the fact that Sharice is just not like, pick me, and she's being direct and she's being honest. And I know I'm not for everybody, and I just feel like the more you get to know a person, you can't judge the book by the cover. Like, I was so hurt when I saw all that colorist, and I woke up episode 1, people were calling me Karen and saying that I'm light skin privilege, and I'm like, I've worked so hard all my life. So it was
They did it to me too. They made this one lady made a whole video about me and my friends and how we was light skin privilege, and
but
a
you know what?
whole video about me.
Join the party because I was dragged for it too.
Like, what?
I'm entitled.
That was the most.
I'm not even black. I'm not black enough.
They was
How did I
calling
get
me
on the
the
show?
Mexican woman. I'm like, these people.
Join the party.
Were there any connections with guys off camera that we didn't see?
LJ. LJ, but LJ and there was definitely some other ones, but you know what? I also didn't want to be disrespectful to anyone. I was trying to respect other people's connections, but
Can I ask you something? So after that incident where you told him that you weren't ready to love, or told him that he wasn't ready to love, at that very moment, did you feel like to yourself, like, did you say, you know what? I could never be this man's friend. Like, I'm done with this guy. Like, he is.
You know what?
No, like.
Yes, I was so shocked.
Yeah.
And that's what I told him. I said, keep on saying it. Because see, I knew he was that type of person. So I was so like, thank God I listened to myself, because people, you have to be real with me. Just be honest. If you don't like me or something you don't like about me, just be up front. So you waited this whole process to get that off your chest. I was like, see, I knew you was that kind of person. I knew you didn't like me. I felt it, right? And then when he had a nerve to tell me to get up, and I said, I'll get up when I get ready.
Mm-hmm.
And then he sat there and ate that food like it was his last supper.
That made me,
you know what? Like
that
that
made me
was
think about something.
He
Go
needed
ahead,
that food. He really needed. I said, you know what? You eat it, because he was telling me, "Come on, let's eat." He was trying to get me to be like.
deflect. He was trying to get you to deflect. Like, I don't want to talk about it. If I stay real still, she not gonna see me. We not gonna talk about it. We gonna start talking about something else because she gonna forget. Like that's
how he did me at my spa. He would deflect and manipulate me and turn me somewhere else. So I never really got,
Yep.
And then when I saw that was the real him, I'm not gonna lie, I was so upset. I was crying a little bit, and I was just like, I was upset. I was hurt. I was so disappointed in him, because I'm like, you're supposed to be how old? And we should have been able to. We've been getting along all this time, Samson, and now you're gonna do this to me?
Wow.
But were you really?
So I have a quick question about that that other part. So do you think that part of Samson's his the way that his attitude, the way that he treated you, do you think part of that was, we're talking about deflection, right? So do you think that was like him feeling, embarrassed or maybe a certain type of way about being caught about what happened in the lounge? Because you know how, like, sometimes when you confront people with stuff, they get an attitude,
Right.
and then they, argue with you, and then you're distracted from the meat and potatoes.
Absolutely.
And you're into something else. So do you think that was part of the
strategy?
Yeah.
Yes. Because all he had to do was say, listen, I don't care what Brandy and them said. I'm here with you now. I want to be with you. I really like you. This is why I like you, not family values and all this. Because when you talk to a person about something you see in them, it shows you're paying attention. It shows you're into them. And at this point, I was questioning if Samson was even into me. And he confirmed it when he flipped on me. Because if you was really into me, you wouldn't have flipped on me like that.
So that made me think about something. So I feel like, when Tommy gave you the instructions prior to the date, I felt like he presented it to you as an option, to eliminate Samson or not based on how the date goes.
Yes.
But I'm wondering if at some point did Samson, feel like it was an elimination date, because I don't feel like they edited it right. Do you know what I mean? I feel like when you said, well, there isn't going to be an us, for some reason, it doesn't feel like it came out that way. And I feel like that's when he realized that, that this is an elimination date and not a bubble date, if that makes sense.
Right. Well, he was just up on the line at the getaway, if you remember. He was up for elimination. And that's what I mean. He's self-aware. So that was another thing. I'm like, how is he not noticed could possibly be elimination date? And I believe that he knew that it could possibly be an elimination date. That's why I was sitting there waiting for 3 hours. Because he didn't want to show up. Wow. You see? Right. So, and then when I'm sitting there like, Samson, everybody know after eliminations, you wait to see if you have a date or not. Nobody goes anywhere. That's your job.
Not me. I had a date every elimination.
But he was like, and do you remember when I asked him at the getaway when we were leaving, I tried to have another intimate conversation with him. And I said, Samson, how do you think it makes me feel when I saw you up there? And he was dancing around and didn't want to take any accountability.
Right.
We're going to welcome real quick. I'm sorry, P.O. Hey, Jay. We're going to welcome Jay.
Hey, Jay.
What's up, RTL family? What's going on, bro?
Hey, Jay.
What's up with y'all, man? Y'all looking so beautiful. Not the men. Y'all looking handsome, bro. Y'all looking handsome. Women are looking beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
I had a question.
Let Stacy cut me off. Go ahead.
Please, y'all. Don't play PO, because like you just said, you were on every bubble date, boo.
You know what it was for though? Theatrics.
Yeah.
We're not going down this
or
road.
maybe you don't have any.
Oh my God.
Yo, don't get Stacey started, please, bro. Please,
Stacey.
You don't want it.
You don't want it.
Um,
Just leave the smoke section right now, dog. Just put a
Okay,
non-smoking
okay.
sign on your. Yeah, trust me.
Go ahead, Stacey.
Despite what the change of tune that PO is having tonight from last week, what I did
No, there's no
want
change of tune. This is just my second opportunity to get clarity. I only talked on one side. This is now I get to get the other side of the fence.
okay.
Now, I still stand by
Stacey.
I still stand by
What he
what I
said.
said in terms of and I'm not saying that he was, right for being disrespectful. I wouldn't condone that. I have daughters. I wouldn't like or appreciate if a man talked to my daughters in that way. But what I'm saying is if you only hear half of the story, we all do, right? We go based off of what we see. So now I have a different side to tell the other story as well versus what I saw. So
Well,
that's
shouldn't you err on the side of caution then, as opposed
no,
to
because I mean you can't listen.
diagnosing?
No, because here's the thing. I wasn't tearing Sharice down. I wasn't tearing Samson down. I was just telling you how I saw those episodes. And so, my interpretation, me and you could read the same book. My interpretation of the book is going to be different from yours, right? And that's all it is.
The right way.
Yeah. But that's what it is. It's my interpretation.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
So here's what I had to say, right? What I didn't like from Samson and Sharice, I like your discernment. Like if I was disappointed in anything, with you is like I felt like you can tell that you had that discernment. And like I think like sometimes when we're dating, we get caught up in between like, should I give it another chance? I feel something, but I'm gonna try to pull it out of you. So that was tough. And then like one thing that I do not like when people do this. So how can you be like fake liking me? And you're using every criticism anyone says about me, any feeling you ever felt, and you put in a Rolodex in the back of your head for the moment that you can pull all of this out and just totally like just bomb on me. And that's what I thought was very inappropriate and a little less than what I would expect from a man or a king. You know what I mean? Like, if these guys were saying these things about me, why did you never stop them and said, well, I'm sorry that, if one person says something negative and then you chime in, everybody else isn't going to go negative. We know that's not what's going to happen. They're going to be like, oh, well, that ain't what I saw, but okay. Right. But it's like you were using all these moments for this one opportunity just to go ham on me. I didn't like that.
It's like he was weaponizing all the words he heard at that one moment, and then I got you. That makes sense.
But it's messed up because those words were used one way or another towards Sharice throughout the season. So she had already heard that criticism. Zoe had already called her fake. Like these things had already happened. And then here you come at the end of the season when our relationship is on the line. And instead of humbling yourself or taking a step back and saying, what is it are you really asking me for? How can I meet you halfway? He threw all of that at you. And I didn't like that at all.
So what do you think, Sharice, what do you think Samson's end goal was? Like getting, like, you guys, went through this process and he had, let's just say the tapes that got spilled in the in the ladies wine lounge or whatever, right? What do you think his end goal was? Because I mean, do you think that he was going to get to the ceremony and then say, I don't choose you and choose somebody else? Or was he just trying to get to the end to say, okay, and then we'll work on something? Like, what do you feel like the end goal was?
You know what? I feel that I'm not going to say exactly what I think it is with Samson, because I think that people were already saying it. And I think that, you're going to see at the reunion again, somebody I think Samson likes to be on television. He did say he modeled in the past. Maybe he wants to be on All My Children next. I don't know. But
Not the daytime soap operas, though.
Oh,
The stories. You can be on
Melanoma.
stories.
You gonna put him on
on
Melanoma?
character, okay?
So there was no growth at the reunion, to be clear, because this is gonna really, like, the reunion's gonna really settle our argument. Like, we
But the
literally went
reunion
in for
really
30
was
minutes.
a shocker for me as well, because the week before, Samson was on my line talking about he wanted to go take me for crabs and go on a date, and I said no. Okay.
That helped. That
And
helps.
Well, what about him just
by the way, he blocked me, y'all. He blocked me. He didn't unblock me until the reunion was coming.
Wow.
So, but he just made a post like just the other day saying how you guys like put up pictures of you guys on Twitter.
Yes, I told you we're super cool. Like, he's harmless. What do I have against him? But do I have to speak my truth and speak from my experience with Samson? That's it. All I can do is tell you what I experienced with him. And it's going to be some shocking information at the reunion. And I feel like, once again, SHAREESE's gut is working. Her intuition is everything, because, when a person talks to you outside all the time and, you don't really, you hear things going on in the background. It was just a lot of different things going on. So I don't know if maybe Samson was trying to protect somebody on camera. That's why the conversation always went to porn on the carb, or something that I'm not interested in talking about. And anyone who's interested in getting to know me and getting to see soft SHAREESE would not want to be doing the things that he was doing. And so that's why he's not ready to love me. I mean, you'll see at the reunion, maybe he's ready to love somebody else, Tyrone, but it's not me.
Wow. So this helps.
Oh, Sabrina,
this helps a lot.
I will not be on this panel.
But here's the thing with people with the reunion, right? Why do people think if they show up at the reunion? Because they kept asking me if I had anybody. I'm like, if I did, it's none of your business.
Yeah.
SHAREESE, real quick, the way you told him he wasn't ready to love was like somebody slapping dominoes at a family reunion. You are not ready to love.
That helps a lot. That helps a lot, SHAREESE. Like, I don't know how I felt about the Twitter post, right? I felt some kind of way about that.
You had a Maury Povich delivery on that post. Oh my God.
I felt like I don't know. He had posted something.
Hold on, Tyrone. Go ahead, because I want to hear what you have to say. Tyrone, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say he had posted it like, we need to help SHAREESE or feel sorry for SHAREESE or something like that in the Twitter post. And I was like, why would you even put her name?
Like, basically, why do black women fight each other or something?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? So
he's a deflector, like y'all said.
In addition to that, like, I know Paul said he was being objective, but he did fight it for like 30 minutes. And then the third thing I was going to mention was OWN releases these, I guess they call them the digital exclusives now, where they show the extra content from the date, which I wish they would have done this a long time ago. Yeah. But somebody had posted it in one of the chat rooms in defense of Samson, basically saying like, yes, he did open up in this date, and the digital exclusive shows that, right? But I think it helped you a whole lot more than it helped him, because it was like, yo, she's obviously trying to get him to open up. So how do you feel about, that being released and the fact that we could see a whole lot more? Do you feel like that helped your case or hurt your case by, people were saying that you were trying to force him to open up?
Well, I wasn't trying to force him to open up. I knew what I was doing. He did need to open up. People can call it force. They can call it whatever. It's my life, and I'm dating him, and I know what I need and what I expect. And he was not giving me that. And we're on a dating show, and it's called Ready to Love. And are you ready to do this thing? Because look at me. And Well, let me stop.
Because he was making it seem like, why does she keep asking me the same things and talking to me about these things when I've already told her on the phone, off camera? Like,
it doesn't matter. He should be able to say it on camera then if it was no big deal. Why didn't you say it then? Why do you keep talking about corn on the cob?
I felt like it was telling. There was some moment when they were talking about who was your primary person or your main connection, and you said because it's me, right? And then there was no response from him at all. And I'm wondering if that was edited, or did he really just not say anything at that moment?
No, he was too busy trying to curse me out.
Mm.
And he was basically telling me that I should already know it. But you know what? That in itself is just immature.
That's that BS right there. That's
why
that
are you being difficult? Give me what I need. I'm not asking you for a brand new Lexus.
Oh.
I'm just saying. I'm just.
Wow. Okay. That was.
Well, I will tell you in Samson's defense. Corn has the juice. It has the lumps and the knobs. Says that 12-year-old kid. It's Corn Kid. Another story.
I like cone. I like
cone. That guy.
My God.
I didn't know you was going with that one, bro.
I don't know. When he made that post, so when Samson made that post on Instagram, one of the other girls was like, I thought she had gone on to glory. I'm like, I'm over here living my best life. Sabrina, what's her name? Sabrina?
Yes.
The one that's getting married to
no. Dakia.
Yeah.
That's Dakia?
Getting married to who?
To Rashard?
Oh, that's Simone.
No, Simone.
No. She said, I thought Sharreese had gone and went on to glory.
Yeah, she had me tickled because he had It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday on that. I was like, what is
You know what?
Yeah, people thought something that happened to you the way he posted with that music. It was like,
yeah.
Well, he did that because he was feeling bad. And I think that he didn't realize that people were on Twitter taking up for me and saying like he snapped and his true colors came out, you know? So I just think that a lot of things that he do sometimes.
I would have preferred if he just
trying to talk to people. I be trying to talk to people, but people don't want to listen to me. That's all.
I would have preferred him to just keep it real and just own it. Like, okay, I was being an asshole or whatever. It's just, that's how I am. I didn't feel like doing this, or I wasn't feeling that, or I didn't say this because I didn't want to. Like, that would almost be much more respectable than all of the runaround, because when you're dealing with halfway evolved people and adults, you can just see it. And it's just, that's the part that makes it so hard. It's, for me, it's not even that that's how he responds, or he could pick and choose who he wants to tell, whatever he wants to tell him and show life, but own it. Like,
right.
Own it all, you know?
Right.
Never.
Yeah.
He's perfect.
But we're all perfectly imperfect. So again, if that's how you feel, then stand on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Remember at the dinner when Brandy was talking about the gifts and he got the bass in his voice and he was like, I did the gifts because that's what I do. Remember?
Why you make him sound like he's slow? Like he got a helmet.
No, because when he claps back, it comes out of nowhere. I mean,
oh Lord,
call on him, cause.
Sharice, it's my first time being around you, but it's I appreciate your directness and Candace, thank you.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm
one that appreciates that as well.
Yeah, I keep it real.
Yeah, and that's trustworthy, because even when it came up with Kadian, when y'all was talking about the friends thing, it's like I'd much rather have somebody keep it real, either tell me they don't like me or they don't need no more girlfriends, than be like, yeah, sis, and then 2 episodes later be like, I was playing the game. Like, that is shysty and a little bit scary.
And I tried so hard. I mean, I'm a grown woman, you know, I don't have time to be fighting with people. That's so unattractive. And I tried so hard with Katie and on so many levels.
That's all you can do.
So a quick question, and y'all, you can shut me up with y'all covered this or not. I was in a meeting, and so I don't know. I'm late. When your dad was talking to him, you seemed like you was like, Dad, come on, bro. Like, I need you to. And then, of course, he was playing Sly Fox at the end of the day. Was your dad really digging him at the moment? And then, you know, you kind of had a chance to talk to him or whatever cases, and he kind of corrected his posture, or, you know, what was the deal?
No, that's just my dad's personality. So my dad is like a salesman, right? He don't show any type of excitement. And he said he had his way of doing things. And my dad was like, you know, I didn't tell him a whole lot about Samson, but I will tell you that when I first met Samson, I felt like we had a connection. Obviously, I went to my dad and I'm telling him everything about Samson. He told me, I think you should slow down. He said, all those things sound nice, but you're a little bit too excited. I want you to slow down because I don't want you to get hurt or be disappointed. So I didn't want my dad to go in on Samson because I already knew he was a nervous wreck. So I didn't really tell him a whole lot. I just said, Daddy, I'm just trying to figure out if this guy is really here for me, you know?
Well, you said Samson was a nervous wreck going in?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Because for some reason on camera, he just wanted everything to be perfect in the way he wanted it to be.
Okay.
And so my dad, you know, my dad was like, I'm not going to. So when we got in the car, he did say he picked up on some things. And you remember my dad said he see caution, proceed with caution. And then he was letting Samson know that I was difficult because he wanted to see his response. You know, he also asked Samson, what would you do if you guys got in an argument? Would you leave? Would you ever hit her? You know, some of the things he said you didn't get to see. So I think it may have looked like it, but my dad's going to be honest with him and keep it real.
Yeah. Now I got a question for you, and this isn't leading by any ways of what I think of you by any means. Do you think that you're difficult? Would you characterize yourself as such?
I think I could be difficult, but I don't think that is like a problem. I don't look at it as a negative thing. So I feel like if difficult is in my 20% and then I have this 80%, it depends. Difficult in what way? Difficult to make decisions, you know?
I think we all are at a certain point.
I think my dad,
if we feel safe, we're not difficult. But if I don't feel safe, I'm gonna be a whole ass.
But then sometimes I feel like when it comes to dating, people define difficult as somebody who speaks up for themselves, somebody who says what they want, somebody who sees something that they don't like. Yeah, and that's difficult. That's how I see it when I hear that.
No doubt.
Yeah.
That means that you about to be asking for everything that you want, and I might not feel like doing it.
And my dad was just saying, like, you know, she's difficult. She can be challenging, you know, meaning. And then he said it. He was like, she has her own mind. Basically, he wanted to hear from him. What you gonna do with her? What can you do with this?
That's a great question, though, man to man. Because again, what are you gonna do when you're faced with those things that agitate you? Do you want a yes girl? Do you want that fake, you know, church girl cover of whatever? Or are you gonna be able to have a conversation that pokes your ego when you're agitated and irritated? Can you cater to the conversation and not necessarily cater to the woman? Because I feel like they get that confused too. This is not about catering to a woman and just doing whatever she wants you to do, but can you respond in whole, healthy maturity and contribute to, you know, the growth of things?
And the guys that are on here know this, and I know the women know this, but I think as a overarching theme, it's when a woman feels safe, and Sharreese, let me know if I'm wrong with this pertains to you. If you feel like the man knows in which way to lead and has confidence, and isn't going to run you into a wall, because women nowadays, you know, y'all can buy your own cars, buy your own bags, all that stuff. I do prefer my women to buy their own bags. No, I'm just playing with you. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's like if you trust them, you're not really challenging them much because you trust them, right? Like, you know, you're not going to run into a wall if he's driving the car, if he's got the wheel.
100%. That's exactly what I look for. Someone that I can trust, that can lead me, because I am a lady and I do not want to be acting like a man. I have to be a boss all day long. I'm masculine in my work and my relationships. I want to be feminine. I want to do the things that men and women do together, not argue.
Yeah, I normally see that difficulty as part of the filtering process, right? And if your intentions are pure and it's right, then it's not hard at all to say that you want to be with this woman and we're going to make it through no matter what. You know,
Yeah.
bring on moms, bring on dad, bring on your friends, bring whoever. You know what I mean? Because it's no sweat.
Yes, April, I'm Leo.
But sometimes people just misuse the term difficult, like, and mislabel women and men as being difficult when they're not sure or they don't have any comfort in the other person. Or when you know exactly what you want and you're trying to convey this is what I want, these are my expectations, you get labeled as being difficult. So
Stacey, you ever been labeled difficult?
no.
Do you know any difficult men, Stacey?
Dang, he disappeared. He
Hey!
Is this the part where we help Sabrina move along?
We gotta help Sabrina bring him
show.
back because he waiting backstage.
Yeah.
He wanted to be dramatic and pop out, pop back in, Mr. Difficult.
I'm trying to think if I had another question for Therese. Did you ever consider self-eliminating? And if so, at what point?
Or
If so,
time.
at what point? Huh?
Probably like 6 times.
Wow.
I did, but you know what? I really wanted to give Samson a chance because I felt like we were in the same place. Well, I thought we could be, but then I realized we weren't. Because also, like, I've done therapy, I've done a lot of work on myself, and I know what I want, and there's nothing wrong with that. Although I know that people don't like confident people, or people, you know, people say I'm spoiled, but I'm not spoiled. I have my preference because I know what I want. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with knowing what you want. I'm not going to hurt anybody else to get what I want, but I know what I want, and I believe I can have whatever it is that I want. And I will compromise on some things, but some things I wanted, and that's what's going to make me who I am. You know, that might be the things that I need in a relationship. And before, when I was dating, I didn't have a voice in my relationships. And I've always had communication issues. So I try my best to communicate better. You know, I'm still a work in progress, but I never had a voice in my relationships. I would just go along with things. Okay. And I've learned that you have to speak up, you have to ask questions, and, you know, have conversations.
I want to say kudos to you if you still have your sanity through this whole process, because I know it's not easy. But what is some of the things you learned most about yourself during the whole process?
I learned that I can trust myself. Okay. Ooh. I've learned that when I feel something isn't right, it's not right. I've learned to never overstay my welcome, you know, and I've also learned to be more open and not so dismissive. Another thing, you know, I feel like I have an idea of who my person is. And at that mixer, you know, the more and more I was hearing, it just felt like something I had already experienced before. It didn't feel like something that I wanted with a lot of the guys. You know, instantly it felt like he could be a friend. I like talking to him. He makes me laugh. And I will say the 3 guys that I exchanged numbers with at the mixer was Swayze, Samson, and Devin.
Okay. Speaking of Devin, I had to rewatch that. The toes in the mouth thing, it seemed like that was your idea.
Ooh. That was well, I guess because you couldn't hear him say that he likes toes and that my toes were pretty.
Okay.
I don't know. What did I say? You want to taste them or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
It happened so quickly. He just said it.
It happens. Every now and then you end up with toes in your mouth.
Wow.
Tyrone, do you have a preference for toes, fam?
Oh.
I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed.
Okay. And did you think that Sharice's toes were nice toes?
I
Oh.
didn't get a good look. I didn't get a good look.
Okay, Sharice, can you send him a picture of your no? Put your toes on the ground for $50.
I'm gonna send my Cash App with it.
She gonna send you the cash app. I know Sharice. Like I know Sharice. She gonna send you the cash app first before you get the toe picture, bro.
Right.
Get that money.
Right.
Okay. So so does anyone have anything else to say about Sharice explaining that
Okay.
explaining that the reason why Samson wasn't there is because he was not ready to love, and she said that this was the end of her journey. Does anyone have anything else to say about that scene?
Sharice, real quick, did you see that going that way? Like when you know, because you know the person that you're communicating with, and sometimes we might say something where it's like, let me just go ahead and tap on this little button that I know that irritates you. Did you see it going that way?
I didn't see it going that way, but I know that he could snap like that because he almost snapped like that on me at my salon when I was giving him the facial. They cut some of that out. But if you notice, he was already a little snappy with that. And
Sharice, the woman.
That was hard.
The man, right?
Oh my God.
That was so hard.
That's
why
what
was
I really felt like. You really think I'm gonna leave this show with him acting like this on camera?
You held your composure with that.
Family are gonna say.
Yeah. I commend you on
I
that.
talked to Sabrina offline where I felt like the both of y'all.
My comfort zone.
Jay, go ahead.
Right. I'm so glad you said that because I was going to ask you about that. Like, because I was going to say, knowing you, I don't know you, but from the show, like, I was sitting there watching, like, Sharice didn't go Sharice on him. And I'm wondering why, because that could have been a really contentious moment. But there was something about you in that moment that was just like, I'm not going to go there with them. But you were in your space, your home, your zone. Yeah. And that makes so much sense. I love that.
I felt so comfortable, and I didn't feel the need to be defensive, Sharice. You know, my guards were down. I was in my zone. I knew I had prepared myself because like I said, I let men manipulate me and don't say anything. And even on that date, I still didn't get to say some of the things that I wanted to say to him.
Yeah.
Because he always would, while we were on camera, for some reason, he would always divert the serious conversation. So I'm like, I'm not going to take somebody, like, I'm not a secret lover. Sorry. Like, I'm not a side chick.
So that moment for you, and that reminded me of our host Sabrina's moment when she let them on the bridge, and it was like it felt like you were choosing yourself. And what I feel like that moment for her is that the younger version of herself 10, 15, 20 years ago might not have made that choice. Is that something for you that you would have, that now you're like, I'm going to choose me because I know in my past I haven't, and I need to choose me now?
Yes, 100%. Because remember, you guys were like, were you going to eliminate? A lot of it, I was choosing Samson, and I was trying to just be like, I was holding back a lot. So I was trying to just figure it out before you speak on something, because I already knew my communication style or me trying to get him to open up, it wasn't really working. So I was just like, well, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and be reserved. I said, I got to open up. That's it.
Yeah.
This guy's not railroading me anymore.
Honey.
Now, did you run into issues with production when it came to that, where you had, we always have these things where they want to see certain things out of you, and it's something that you're not comfortable with? Did you run into that as well?
No.
No? Okay.
No,
you're like, look, I'm going to be me. It is
anything
what it is.
They didn't want, anything like that, I wasn't doing it. I wanted to be my authentic self. A lot of things, like the whole me talking about Dominic in the beginning, that's just like anybody. I'm sorry. If you're sitting there with your friends at a barbecue, you're going to look over and say, oh, that wig, or, that's just what you do. And I just think I got caught on camera doing it.
Yeah, a lot of people actually have been in the chat saying like address the Dominica situation.
Yes, that's why I brought it up, because I think I saw it. And Dominica, it was not, I didn't know her from a can of paint. Remember, this is a mixer. And what you didn't see was throughout the day, Dominica was in my ear, busting my eardrums out. And you know, sometimes when people drink, they're louder and they're more friendly and they're, you know, so it was a lot of that going on. And we were talking about who's going to go home. And I'm like, well, she's going home for me. But I didn't know this girl from a can of paint, so it was not personal. It was not, and I did apologize to her.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so does anyone else have anything to say about the Sharee self-including? No, don't be, honey. You are our special guest. We can sit and talk about you all day long.
Well, I had a question. So why do you think it was that Samson didn't want to capture those moments of depth on camera?
Maybe he was protecting someone at home that could possibly see it. I don't know.
Like someone he would be involved with?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So are you saying?
I don't think I've heard you say all day.
So are you saying that he might have had a girlfriend?
Well, you better leave me alone.
Right.
I haven't heard you say all interview. But when people don't want to say something, they will literally close their mouth and answer. So do you have a different answer other than
what?
Okay.
Enough
Right.
said.
Okay.
Right. Since
on that note, y'all, I gotta leave at 8:30. Much love. Teresa, it was a pleasure meeting y'all, the whole crew. Much love to y'all, man.
All right, brother.
Yes, thanks for joining.
Yo, much love, man.
Thanks
I'm gonna leave y'all on word.
Jay, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on my
lunch. Okay, so moving forward.
Moving right along.
So Kadian says that she felt like she had to get into defense mode after the conversation last night that she had with Swayze. Swayze says that she is very argumentative and everything is a debate with her. He says that he can't keep reassuring her. Tommy says that it's their language barrier, or there is a language barrier. That they have a great connection. Tommy asks, does he think that they can fix this? Swayze says no, he's not willing to fix it. They both said that they both say that they want to leave the process. Kadian says that that was the only moment that she needed for Swayze to pretty much reassure her, and he did not, and he dropped the ball.
Their situation was a lot like ours. Samson and Swayze are both Sagittarius men.
Oh man!
Oh,
come on, don't start with that.
Woo.
Don't start with that. I'm a Sagittarius.
Oh, see, but
and it all works, and it all works. Sag men, similarities.
Y'all Sagittarius men like to dip, dabble, hop around. You like to hop city. Yes, you do.
No.
Yeah,
you do.
You can't make up their mind.
You can't, because you like your solitude a lot. And you're kind of like low-key okay if you don't have nobody.
Look, check out that broad brush.
I'm sorry, what?
That broad brush.
Nah, I bet you when you get to the root of some of it, it's some of that same Sagittarius stuff. I done seen it a million times.
You know what I'm talking about?
Here we go.
It is what it is.
What did I say about them last week? I think I said it's like a microcosm of their whole relationship from every scene we've ever seen from them on the show. And like it started to get exhausting just to watch.
Right.
Randall's over it, clearly.
Y'all have any good moments? Like
Jamie.
did we just spend a weekend together? And they said they had an argument last night. And it got to a point where Swayze said, I'm done. And I feel like to get to that point, right? You don't want to try to call them out. You don't want to try to test them, especially publicly, right? And then to ask someone to make a decision about their future when they're upset is not a good move at all.
Right.
You know
When you keep if you keep pushing somebody towards a cliff, you can't be surprised if they fall over. Like, this was very exhausting. It was very an emotional, exhausting relationship to watch, because it was almost like toxic. And you got to give Swayze credit for trying to work through it and still being there and trying to, from what we can see, trying to work through it and fix it and be there. But you can't, always push someone to give you the answer that you want when they're giving you their answer.
I mean, I'm almost with you on that. There's part of me that felt the same way. Like, okay, I'm glad Swayze, he's trying, but a bigger part of me is wondering what toxic traits he has that really puts up with that feeds off of that keeps inviting it in, that I'm breaking up with you and I'm done. And then I'm done in the morning, and then by evening it's like dinner and like nothing happened and da 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 da. So it's like kind of takes two to tango with them. And now that I'm seeing this at the end, I was feeling bad for Swayze at first, but now I'm just kind of like, but you like that though. Like, what is it about you that likes that? And could that be explored so you can have a little bit more of a healthier connection?
Well, I think what it is this. You don't want to go on safari and have the lion come to you and just die in front of you and say, "Okay, take me," right? You want to go for the hunt. No, you want to go for the hunt, and that type of energy, he's probably trying to tame that beast and bring her in, and and bring her down to where he needs her at, and she won't go there. Because she's like, look, I'm me. I'm gonna do what I do, and
So it
so I
sounds like a
think,
mismatch.
but I think that's the attraction though, the fact that he's feeding off of that energy of, I want to be with you. I like everything that you got going on, but you need to pipe down.
I don't think
And
so. I think it's like an addiction. I think it's something you shouldn't be doing. You know it's not good for your health, but you do it anyway because that's what you're used to doing. And you like feeling that way, not because it feels good, but because you're used to doing it.
I mean, I, I don't know. I don't know if somebody would try so hard though at trying to repeat the same mistake.
Yeah, but if you don't see it as a mistake because you're used to feeling that way, even if it's anxiety, if you're
Yeah.
used to feeling anxiety or used to feeling sad and dramatic in your relationships, you're gonna keep doing that.
Yeah.
And you're gonna say, I don't know, he keeps doing this and it makes me so but you're inviting it because you're addicted to it. And that's what I feel about
Yeah.
Swayze. It's just my opinion.
So I was saying like Swayze would want his lady to have that strong, that strong-minded, that strong will, but I felt like he struggled when that is pointed against him. You know what I mean? And it seemed like he didn't really figure out how to handle that without getting upset, because she didn't realize it. It's almost like she didn't realize he was getting upset and she didn't know how to bring it back. You know what I mean? And it felt like it just kept pouring it on. And then, Tommy had mentioned that language barrier and they were saying what they were feeling, but it seemed like the other person was just receiving it differently than how the person originally meant it. And then all the extra additional explanation just made things worse because they weren't listening to what the other person was saying, but just how they were saying it.
So Jamie, so if Swayze gets her, or if she pipes down, right, and communicates with Swayze, do you think that he stays with her, or does he leave?
I guess that really depends on what he's feeding off of. I don't really think um that he would stay. That's something more within him. I mean, it's vibrational. Sometimes we have that vibrational thing in us that attracts and is attracted to that other thing. So if he got rid of that within himself, so I can say it like this: if he removed that from himself, I don't think he would necessarily be attracted to Katie, and maybe vice versa. I don't think she would be attracted to him either.
Yeah.
To me, it's
So
it's
so they're
something that's
both.
running under the surface,
Yeah.
and that's
So
just
so
my
bas-
opinion.
so basically, then that element of drama or whatever has to exist in order for them to pursue each other.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree. So remember what we saw in the preview for the reunion?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to say he a hothead, but he definitely not timid, right?
Yeah, right.
And I feel like he wouldn't want his lady to be timid either. And I feel like, it's a sense of security to know that his lady would be willing to fight, or at least say she willing to fight. You know what I mean? So going
Right.
in with that energy, seemed to be like something that he was looking for at the beginning. Remember? Because I was saying, like, he was actually bragging about, the people that he was dating being older than him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, maybe he's looking for that mature, strong energy from a woman, as long as it can
But
be tamed. And it seemed like he's struggling trying to,
well,
I don't want to say tame it because it sounds bad, but he's struggling to get her to not use it against him.
yeah,
I'm a
but I
little
mean,
bit
that's
curious about his
point.
relationship with his mother. I'm a little bit curious about his relationship with his mother.
Yeah,
Or his sisters. Or
Just
his
curious.
sisters.
Or his
Him and
sister.
his
Just
mother
curious.
is cool.
so
What's that?
Him and his mom are good.
What about-
She was at our premiere.
Okay. What about sisters? Does he have sisters?
Yeah, but growing up, well, I wonder what.
Oh yeah, he has one sister. Yeah, growing up. I can't remember, but I think he has one sister, and Swayze played college football, and he's a firefighter.
right. So he's used to dominating things, like
Right.
dominating fires, dominating the game.
Yeah, like a challenge.
Taking control. Yeah, exactly.
And I think that he had challenges in his previous relationships, and he started dating submissive women. That's where the Latinos came in. And I think that works for him because he necessarily was trying to get away from the drama type of relationships,
Right. And that's
every guy I know that dates Latina women not necessarily say that they're submissive.
Well, some of them are. Some of them you can get away with murder.
Yeah, I think submissive comes in all shades, I'd say, I guess.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
But
but
what I mean is that, they can get away with a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
right. That's why I say I feel like, that sort of spice that she has, he wants to put that fire out. He wants to, dim that spice a little bit and bring that into his world so that it's, something that is, can work in his capacity, right? Because you look at her, like every time you see them two, throughout the show, they're bickering, but he keeps showing up. He keeps showing up. You don't have to do that. Like you get to say, I'm done with this.
Unless you like it.
Right. Or there's
like
yeah,
what you
so there's
saying.
right. So there's something about her, not only just, looks, but there's something that he sees in her that he knows is probably more valuable in the long run if he can get, past this noise.
Yeah, we talk about that like as men behind the scenes where we say, hey, we're willing to accept a little bit of crazy if we know that she is also crazy for us.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because a little bit of crazy means she gonna be loyal, she gonna be faithful, she gonna ride for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But she also gonna turn it on you sometimes. And you just gotta be able to push through that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough at the beginning because like you said, we are just friends. You're not my wife. But he, it came off harsh, but I don't think he meant it harsh,
Yeah.
But I think that was her whole thing. Yeah, I'm not your wife. So the second I do something you don't like, you finna leave. So I feel like that's why she kept trying to get him to say something like, do you want me to be your life later? What do you see? So I do understand why she kept, whatever. Because as soon as he said that, I'm like, oh, well, that's why she keep asking you about commitment. Because this is what you're saying.
I felt like at that point, I mean, there really was no reason to say anything. Do you know what I mean? Like they got in a fight last night. That's y'all business, right? At this point, I mean, it felt like to everyone, it was clear where he was. Do you know what I mean? So she was probably the most secure one going into the house, right? So what else is there to question? especially
He
publicly.
really was. He was all over her in that house.
In front of the group
Right.
like that. What is there
Yeah.
to question? What else do I need to do? I'd have been upset too.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
true.
that's understandable. Absolutely.
So
Hey, they're still rocking, you know,
Yeah,
whatever. That's
good for
what we're
them.
here to
Good for
do.
them.
Get,
I
you
was
know,
getting ready
get
to
to
say
know.
because they're in a whole relationship happily. I mean, they
See?
promote their relationship before they even decided not to be with each other on the show. They've been in a relationship on social media in
Mhm.
front of all of us.
Yeah, so he just
Yeah.
put that fire out, and you know, and somehow I guess that worked, or somebody put that fire down. Still works.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm glad, you
I
know,
guess we'll see.
I love it. If they like it, I love it. You know what I mean? But I just
Yeah.
hope that they can, you know, move past it, because my thing is the troubles and the issues that they had while they were on the show,
Oh,
they're just not going to go away. You know what I
That's
mean? I just
correct.
feel like right now they're just in the honeymoon stage. It's like, oh my God, okay, now we can finally be together. But guess what? He said all through the whole show, she's argumentative, she's this, she's that, she's that. Like, for me, it makes me feel like that's how he really feels about her. I hope that she can listen and they can communicate effectively now, and she's able to change for them together, you know. But if not, they're going to be right where they, you know, where they left off. So,
And not only that,
yeah, that was tough.
he said it's too early to be going through all this. Like, it's so funny because I don't know if y'all have this experience. I do. I've dated guys where in the beginning I knew. I done said something, I heard a comment, I had a moment. There was something I was feeling about the person, and we tried to make it work and do all of that. And by the end, the very thing that it was in the beginning is the reason why it ended. So it's just like sometimes, just like women, we talk about our intuition. Men have the same thing. He's saying all of the things and he's doing something different. So we'll see. Because, you know, I don't want to speak anything negative of the relationship, because like you said, Sabrina, if she's willing to grow and change and they can grow and change together, great. Like, I'm not hating, but you know, if something else happens, we're not going to be shocked what the origin was, because he already done said it through like 6 episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you feel like she was probably like really fishing for her knight in shining armor moment where he gets up there and expresses his feelings for her, that makes her look good and feel like a princess, and then ride off? Something like that, do you feel like? And I'm not trying to be funny, but
No,
do you feel like, you know, that she was possibly looking for something like that? I think she kind of alluded to it.
I think so. She was
You
just
know?
like, I just needed that in that
Well,
moment.
she's a relationship person.
Yeah. For them to be going so strong, it just felt like,
yeah,
you know, it would have concluded, it would have been a really good ending to their arc.
The
to
story,
their arcs, you know.
Yeah.
Now, why would they ever put that out there? A good ending.
Well, they do. I mean, they. Come on, Paul.
I don't know where they do that.
We can't keep screaming.
The crazy part is I don't know if people realize we watch it for the first time when everyone else is watching it.
Yeah.
So
they know we've said it enough. Paul has too. For
all the time.
Is there anything different, Sharreese, in what we're seeing as viewers and what you're like? Is there anything about Swayze and Kadian that threw you off when you watch the show back and be like, oh, I didn't know all that was going on, or I didn't see that would be different than what you saw behind the scenes?
No, because I knew everything that was going on. What was shocking was when he was just so determined a few times that he was gonna barbecue her, and he never did. So when I saw that they weren't keeping up on each other, I said, it must be something there. And I started supporting the union, like I told you. These connections. And so Swayze and I talked on the phone almost every day. So me and Swayze were friends. So it was very shocking for me to see them keep trying. And I know how he's felt about her and the things that he said. But then I said, you know what? Forget it. I'll be the godmother. You guys go ahead and, you know, I just started supporting it because, like you said, it's like they're made for each other because they have this dialogue that is, and in a sense, it was like they were going through the same thing Samson and I were going through. And it was almost like I had motivated Katie to take a different stand because she was feeling insecure. And there was a moment where she said that she didn't want to get to my age and be like me, single. So you better take notes because I am not miserable. I am a very happily single woman by choice.
Good
choice.
Not gonna settle just to say she has somebody. I mean,
that part.
into some connections. Like I don't care what it is. I will.
Period.
It's not gonna work. So you know.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything else to say about this scene with Kadian and Swayze as they both self-eliminate? I still can't believe they both left the show. Oh, okay. Let me move on. Does anyone have anything else to say? Okay. Tommy tells the remaining singles that the men will be introducing the women to their families. There is only 2 men left and 3 women: Randall, Mike, Jamala, Kayla, and Brandy at this point. Moving forward, Mike will be introducing Brandy and Kayla to his brother Greg. Brandy says to Mike's brother that she has never been in a real relationship and that she has never been in love. Marcus, the brother, asks her questions like, what is it? Was it you? Do you feel like you have any areas that you need to work on? She's like looking around like, nope. He's like, yeah, okay, Miss Perfect. Brandy then tells his brother that she wants what she wants from this process, and she feels like that Mike can be her king. Her brother says that he does like Brandy, but the red flags are that she has never been in love and she can't identify any of her flaws. Yeah.
So let's just start here. Why in the hell are they still introducing folks to the family? Number one. Number two, why in the hell aren't these 2 men, right, set on which woman they want to really pursue? Like, you should already know. Like, at this point when I was at this point in the process, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Actually, I knew exactly what I wanted to do way before I got to this point. So these men knew, and it's like somebody was getting strung along all this time, right? For what? Like, what was the point? I get it. Okay, you want to introduce the families, okay, but why do we need the third wheel? Like, why do we need that extra person? I'm not saying anything against her, because I mean she's in the game. I mean, she's still in the game, but it just didn't make a whole lot of sense, and it didn't really set the tone for these folks leaving and being able to start something serious, because it's like, well, damn, how am I going to the I choose you ceremony and I really just figured it out yesterday?
So I tried my best in the last few days. I tried my best to figure out why the men would be indecisive still at this point. And the only thing that I can come up with was, it's kind of like, someone offering you chicken and someone offering you steak and saying you can only choose one for the rest of your life. And, Brandy and Kayla are 2 great women, right? So
Yes.
I can kind of understand why they would still be undecided. What I don't understand is like why it's taken so long. You know what I mean? When they know that the point is to eventually choose someone.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it comes to Mike and the whole and Brandy's thing, I feel like we were just seeing the same thing that we were seeing, all season. Them being undecided. I feel like at this point, there's no reason to like say it just to stick around. There was one thing that Mike said that did stick out to me, though. I think it was in the confessionals where he was saying that you know, he needed to choose between Brandy and Kayla. And he was like, I'm leaning towards Brandy, and I hope I'm making the right decision. And I was like, dang, bro, you still hoping? Still hoping at this point? Like you're not sure?
Right.
So, okay. So to me, that was telling, you know. I don't know what that means just yet.
Right.
Yeah, but in a step back too, to talk about the brother meeting her, and when she said or when he said or asked her about, you know, relationships and all this stuff, and she said she's never had a relationship. Like, for just, you know, as a man in general that knows exactly what he wants, right? I don't want to put training wheels on somebody on how to be in a relationship, right? Although I'm not saying that you're not worthy to have one, right? But I feel like if there's something, there has to be something, you know, that you're doing to prevent this, to get to this age. I mean, unless, you know, you just started, I don't know, dating within the past 2 years of your life, there's something that you're isolating that's not allowing you to, you know, develop strong relationships or strong bonds with men, you know, serious interactions and you know, just emotional availability. There's something that's going on, I would say, with anybody, for me anyway. This I'm not diagnosing her, and I'm not saying, you know, this is who she is, but for me, if I saw somebody that was that told me that they never had a relationship, I would probably, you know, be thinking, well, you know, you definitely don't, you're not ready for this here, you know, and at the end of the day, I would be concerned with what has prevented you from starting that process.
I mean, when I look at Brandy, I can't say because, you know, but what I can say, just a little bit opposite of what you're saying, P.O., and what I'm seeing in Brandy is look at who she's choosing now. And so to me, her only issue is the choices she makes and the dude she decides to deal with. Why is she picking undecided? There's no way. Well, it doesn't matter what I would do. All I'm saying is I'm looking at the choices she's making, the stuff that she's saying, the men she's attracted to, the stuff that she's putting up with, how giddy she is over a half cup full man. And to me, that's why she's not been in a serious relationship. Is Mike serious relationship material? Does Mike really have the capacity to look at Brandy in this moment and judge her on what capacity she has to be in relationship when he's not even offering her one? So
I have a question for Shareese with regards to this. Now, I saw Brandy, I think it was you and Brandy and someone else that met Samson's, what was it?
Yeah, his ex. Well, his supposedly ex, right? His friend,
right,
and Looney.
Right. Okay. So, did they have a connection? Was Brandy just thrown in the mix? Did they have any romantic, you know, conversations that you know of?
When I got to that date and Brandy and Looney were there, I was so like, that was another thing that pissed me off because I'm like, this guy is really playing me. Like, what in the world are Looney and Brandy doing on this date? And then, you know, with the gifts, because he's making the scene. Oh, y'all didn't see what he gave me for my gift at the ice cream shop. He gave me a puzzle, honey.
What kind of
was
puzzle?
it gold plated? I mean, what?
He gave me a puzzle and said that him and I and Lola, my dog, were going to put it together. And he want to put the pieces together to me or something like this. And I said,
baby, okay. Lola must be smart as hell to be putting to piecing a puzzle back.
I mean, what was the puzzle? What was the picture of the puzzle? Like,
well, the puzzle was my family, because you know my family. He's from Texas, and I had the Southern family, and I talked about the farm growing up and all that kind of corny stuff. And he went and got me a puzzle with the countryside on it and the dogs and flowers and said it represented me, and he wanted us to put it together as we got to know each other.
You didn't like that, or what? Is that?
I liked it because it was different. I never had anybody do anything like that. I was puzzled that I got a puzzle. I had never experienced that.
Sharice, yo.
I did. I mean, a lot of these experiences were my first time experiences.
Yo, I'm catching on to your.
It was nothing I could do about it. You know, I can't control the gifts. But I'm telling y'all, I was getting so mad every time. I'm like, how is everybody in here saying Samson gave them a damn tulip or carnation or orchid or book, and everyone has a connection with Samson? This is too.
Everybody's gift meant something for that person, though.
Yeah, I know. That's great.
But now I understand. So I want to say, initially on that episode, when we saw the group date with his ex, the ex date, I was kind of like, I mean, like, why are we complaining about, you know, well, you're giving everybody else gifts. This was coming from Brandy, I believe. Wasn't it Brandy?
Yep.
Well, you know, why are you giving everyone else gifts? I didn't like my gifts. And, you know, at that time, I didn't like that she had brought it up in front of all of y'all and the ex. I thought it was in poor taste. So I don't know if first question is, did something provoke that response? The second statement is, now it all makes sense coming from week before last episode where we're saying that he's still politicking with all the women and having these conversations that we're blindsided with. Mm-hmm. So now, you know, I was kind of like, dang, Brandy, like, we can't be complaining about stuff. Like, if it was Louis Vuitton, you wouldn't complain. But now I'm looking at it in a different way now that we're here. And I'm like, is it because he was feeding you something else, and then you come and you see that all the other women are getting gifts too? So, like, kind of like how you felt, she felt at the time.
Yes. And I feel like that was also Brandy's way of trying to get clarification, you know, trying to put him on the spot. Because how did all three of us didn't end up there by accident. So Samson's telling me I'm his only connection, telling Brandy she's his only connection. Samson was too scared of Mike to go after Brandy. I think that Samson was interested in Brandy, but I think that he was afraid of Mike because these guys, they didn't want the competition. Samson, I don't want to fight anybody. I'm not like you. You know, you've already gotten to it with Zoe. And so, you know.
So do you
and he wasn't running around with his toes in people's mouth.
Yo.
I'm here for it.
I don't want to get into it with anybody. You know, Mike says, you know, Brandy's his girl. You're my girl. And, you know, I don't want to argue with these guys. I don't want confrontation. I'm like, okay.
I don't think him and Brandy would have ever. There was that one awkward scene, and I don't know, it could have been partly editing, where they were sitting on that little piece of lawn chair outside. And it just looked like they didn't have anything to talk about. And again, if he's going to comment on your comment about the D in the morning and or however many people and whatever, he had already made a comment about Brandy twerking on people, this, that, and the other. She could have never been in his space. He would have been trying to turn her down. Her family toasted with shots of Hennessy. Okay?
Listen to this.
He can't hang.
He can't hang. But if you remember that date where Samson was with, that he had to come home and explain to me, and he did. He tried to play it off with the tulip when he kissed her. So that was another one that I accidentally kissed. Him kissing Brandy, and he was there telling her, Brandy, you don't know that I'm interested in you. Remember, he said that to her. You don't know that I'm interested in you. And I'm like, oh no, he did not. So that's what I'm saying. That's why Brandy was trying to put him on the spot. Like, we were trying to get, you see, because he's caught. thought.
Tyrone, you pointed that out with the kiss thing, right? Was that you?
No, I was saying he has the ability to.
No. There was an accidental kiss thing.
Yeah,
And
with Brandy and the two.
Oh yeah.
right.
I didn't really think much of it.
Yeah. So was that an actual on purpose type of deal, or was it just accidental? I said this when I first saw it. I said, okay, that seems like muscle memory.
Yeah.
Mm.
It just seemed like that normal, cordial, gentleman stuff that she probably just wasn't expecting.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
His lips didn't have no business on her lips at that point.
But I think it was an accident though, because they were going to hug. They were.
Yeah, it was. He did explain to me later that it was an accident. But if you want to know my honest opinion, I do think that Samson would have been interested in Brandy had it not been for Mike. But I think with that meeting of the ex, that's what turned him off. And then when he saw how upset I was, and at the getaway, he told me I had to let Brandy know that she's not my type. I'm like,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I know.
We got a little sidetracked. I was going to try to explain that Brandy red flag.
Explain it.
The whole red flag thing, not being in a relationship.
Oh yeah, that struck me as a little different as well.
So I was going to say, what was I going to say? It wasn't necessarily a red flag, but it does give me pause. And the reason why I say that is because I've had, women that I have grown up with that were essentially, I guess you could say, too good. And what I mean by that is guys know what their intent is when they go into a relationship. And at that point, I felt like my intent would have essentially ruined her. And I didn't want that for her. And I feel like Brandy comes off like that sometimes, to where, it just seems like she's just so nice that she would accept anyone that she likes and be able to work through whatever flaws and red flags that she sees. You know what I mean? And I feel like there may be some animals and dudes that would take advantage of that, but then there would also be, some stand-up dudes who know their intent and be like, you know what? I don't even want to do that to you.
And can she see the stand-up dudes? Because sometimes it takes us longer to see the dudes that are stand-up dudes. We don't know what type of dude she's, after. Obviously, if she likes Mike, somebody said in the comments, why are you going to pick your first man to be a stripper with 3 kids? I didn't say it. It was in the comments, but I'm just saying.
So, yeah. So, did we ever talk about the cheerleader syndrome?
No.
Where basically, you start being attracted to what you're presented with, right? And what you're presented with, you end up being attracted to the best available option.
Yeah.
Right. And then you just end up being stuck on that one person and you really can't get out of it. So I think that may have had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it could be. But I would say this. Any woman that is being with a man, just working through it because they want to have a man, right? And just showing up every day and putting up with the stuff, ultimately, that's probably one of the largest red flags ever for me, because if you can't tell me I'm doing you wrong and we're being together, you're being fake. And if you're going to be fake, then it's going to lead to a false bravado type of relationship. And I'm always going to be right, and I don't want to be right all the time. Just 99.9.
Well, I think she's super cute. She's a really pretty lady.
Very pretty.
And sometimes it's hard, where we are now, sometimes it's hard to tell if you haven't been in a relationship this long because you are focused on your career for so many years and you wanted to get to a certain place first. But it always kind of scares me. Not scares me, but gives me, reason to pause when someone says they've never been in an actual relationship, because I remember like when I had gotten a divorce, and like I never had the opportunity to really date and stuff, and I did a show and stuff, and then I started trying to date and figuring out what it is I like and I don't like, and like what is good for me and what's not good for me. And so I just hope that, even though she said that, and that even though she did say she did have some situationships, I hope that it was enough to give her a basis of what she deserves, what she doesn't deserve, what she likes, what she doesn't like. Because you guys are right that people would just eat her alive. These people are crazy out here in this dating world.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I don't think she does have a view of it. And I think the reason why she struggles finding something wrong with herself is because she hasn't been in those serious relationships enough to be able to look back and analyze where were the problems, what did she overlook, blah, blah, blah. Like, when you're committed to somebody, it becomes a mirror of some sort, and you see things about yourself, things that you can change and grow from. But if she's never had that, and she's always just been the sweet girl who's given everything and nice, and I don't know, these guys, they just keep then how is she going to be able to identify what's really going on? What's really going on is her picker is bad.
Yeah. So can somebody define for me what is a situationship? What is that?
Come on, Paul.
P.O.
What is it? I just want to know
about it too.
P.O. get off my phone. You don't have 15
situations. Sex without commitment, Paul.
Quit
sex
playing.
Without commitment.
Goodbye.
Come on, man.
Here he go with you delivering the BS again.
I just had to say, I had to get it out there for the people in the back that might not know what that is.
Are there any people in the back that don't know what it is? If you don't know what a situationship is,
then that's a red flag too.
People in the back. I'm done.
See, you make me sick here with this food.
Hey.
Ay, Dios mío.
Okay, sorry guys, I'm trying to get this stuff. Do me a favor, Stacy. Can you comment in the chat for me real quick so I can go over here and do that real quick? Because in order for me to do it, I have to. You can just put test or something like that. Okay. You said he won. No, you were.
Stacy, get him.
Yeah, Stacy, you were.
Mike was very good to Brandy.
Are you reading a comment or making a statement?
Yeah.
I'm making a statement that he I mean, you'll see at the reunion. Once he chose her, he chose her. I don't.
So that's funny because
at that age, it's not unrealistic that she. I don't know, because I don't really know much about her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, being a flight attendant, it's difficult to date because she says she's always gone.
Mm-hmm.
I love Brandy's personality.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. I love her personality. She was my favorite person. She was like my sister wife on set.
So what's the
Shanika?
I was gonna say, what's the relationship that you have with Katie and Nana? Like, are y'all?
Me and Katie. Well, you know what? I don't hate anyone because I'm a sucker for love. But I just think that this last time, it just put me in a space where I feel like I'm not going to keep on, going back to the same situation, getting hurt by the same person. So I have chosen to just take it in the high road and just, I don't think we will ever be friends. I tried, but this last time it was just way too disrespectful. And, I'm not interested in anything.
So I got a follow-up question because this comes up in relationships. Do you feel like you would need your relationship with Swayze to end in order to keep your sanity and keep
me and Swayze don't talk like we used to since they're together. Like, we don't talk like we used to. And I've tried with Katie, and I told you that. I didn't want to fight her at the reunion. The crazy thing is, it's like 1 minute she wants to be friends and 1 minute she don't. And I'm too old for that. I don't have the capacity to deal with a person who's wishy-washy. If it's a man or a woman, I have friends already. I'm a 44-year-old woman. I'm not a child. I don't need to be friends with someone who wants to fight or don't want to be friends with me or does not really like me.
Yeah.
I'm a leader and I hang out with other leaders. My friends, I don't talk crazy to my friends. I don't talk down to people. You know, my friends respect who I am and I respect who they are. I don't go around. One of the things that we always got into it was because I don't like people trying to tell me who I am. If you want to know who I am, you ask me, but don't put your judgments on me in my face. Like, you're too sensitive. How can you tell me I'm too sensitive? You don't know my level of sensitivity because you may not be that sensitive, but I think that her judgments were just always had us going at her opinion, always had us going at it. She's very opinionated.
But we saw that, you know, a little bit of that personality, not just in exchanges with you, you know, or, you know, if we go back to early in the season, we've seen that, you know, spill out in different situations, but we've also gotten exhausted from it, you know, relationship exhaust from it in, you know, how she deals with Swayze, like how they communicate with each other. So, I mean, this is something that's evident and is like a characteristic of hers.
It is. And just like the way she talked to Shakira, I mean, I feel like she knows who to try, you know?
Yeah, I was thinking
But
that.
you can't, that's just nasty and that's just ugly. And I just didn't think that personality was going to be on the Oprah Winfrey Network.
Sure.
I was not on Love and Hip Hop, but that's how it felt at times, you know?
Oh, here go PO.
Don't get him started, girl.
Nope.
Don't get him started.
I'm not gonna say nothing. Okay, I can't help it.
Oh, okay.
So Oprah, they gonna have it on there regardless. I mean, it's for the drama. They're gonna get their money. They're gonna have that scenario contrived. They're gonna do what they do. All right, I'm done.
But you saw when we had that ladies' lounge, you saw Katie and was crying harder than me.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. That was so misleading about our friendship. It was like sometimes she was taking up for me, but then I think about it, maybe she was just playing me.
Well, let's talk about the sugar daddy.
Let's talk about that reunion. After the reunion.
Yeah, I know. The reunion in air yet, PO.
I mean,
Let's talk about that after
I saw it when they had it. They had the conversation about it, right? And she said this was in the ladies' lounge or whatever about some sugar daddy or whatever, right?
There must be more to come, so we gotta wait.
Oh, come on! All right, I tried it.
I give it to you.
I tried. You know, I always got it. You know, at least once in a while.
Let's talk about the sugar daddy after the reunion.
Yeah. Wait, is the sugar daddy going to show up to the reunion? I just want to know.
Oh my god.
So, does anyone have anything else to say about Mike and Brandy? No? Okay. Moving forward. Mike and his brother are now meeting Kayla. Mike says that Kayla is not looking for a regular guy, that she comes from wealth, so she might not really be interested. Hold on 1 second. I got to get these bots real quick. Oh, God.
I got him already.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Stacy. When Kayla's looking for somebody there, she says yes. She talks about how Mike is limiting himself and that he can really do big things. And Mike's brother says that he really likes Kayla because he likes that she wants more for him, and Kayla is leaving feeling good about this date meeting his brother. Whew, Lord have mercy. Sorry, guys. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna let y'all speak on it, but I think that with Mike saying, because Mike keeps saying, you know, she's for money. Honestly, I feel like that's an excuse. And that's the excuse that he's using. And it's working for him. But me looking at it, you know, and him keep saying that, I'm just like what grown man in real life gonna be like, she like she from money. She ain't gonna like me. I mean, I have heard men say she got money. I'm gonna make sure I show up with some roses, some chocolate. I'm gonna go wash my 93 Lexus or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know, like I don't care about them dudes. She need a real one like me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think dudes are happy to be very insecure about that, because I don't think guys want to feel like they don't measure up. He don't want to feel dumb when she's talking about the foyer and the crest, and when these conversations come up in her family, they don't. It doesn't work well, in my opinion. I think he would be just fine leaving her and her family crest over there.
And you know what? You're probably right. Some guys feel like they want to come in and be a man, right? And so, you know, some men define being a man by being a provider, meaning I can pay all the bills, I can take care of you, and I can bring it home, and you don't have to do anything. I got it all, right? And so when a woman has that, it's like, well, damn, what can I offer you? And so they start to feel not only intimidated, but they feel like, you know, sort of emasculated just a little, you know, and so they won't entertain women like that. Me, on the other hand, that means, well, whenever I blow all my trillions, you know, I'm gonna start mess your money up too. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna blow that 800 credit score. Here's what it is.
It's 8:30, Paul.
There was
8:34.
So there was so much. I was thinking, one, I was like, man, these Kayla dates is just filler, right? Because what are we really doing right now? The other thing is that I feel like Mike may feel like he may never be enough. You know what I mean? I feel like, you know, like as a dude, you know, like we've said it, I've said it, right? I've looked at a woman and been like, man, like she looks expensive, right? And then that don't mean like in a bad way, how y'all may be thinking it, but you know, she looks expensive, you know? But if you're secure and you know who you are and you know what you can do, I feel like you also know what your level of woman is, you know, and what your threshold is when it comes to everything that comes with the woman, right? That emotional security, financial stability, like all that. You're taking all of that into consideration. And there were some things that were telling, just the whole Pinot Grigio thing, like that shouldn't be overly.
Are you 45 and don't know what the hell Pinot Grigio is, child? It's in the grocery store. It's in the damn grocery store.
Yeah, I was shocked. I don't even really drink wine, and I was shocked when I heard that one. I'm like,
that's why I'm like, come on, a mid-40s man that keeps going on. I'm like, it's an excuse. He's trying to find a reason. Because before he even knew Kayla, it was, I don't want to have kids. You too young for me. You too. It was like the whole season he was making excuses to not like Kayla, but it made sense to keep her hanging on because he needed another connection just in case him and Brandy didn't work. You know what I mean? He didn't just want to have one connection. All I saw was excuses. I felt like they had sexual chemistry. Other than that, it was nothing. It was nothing else. Nothing.
Oh, that sexual chemistry will make you get them babies up in there, though.
Do you know of any other connections he had other than with Brandy and Kayla?
No. Well, remember at first April was going for him, but we all felt like Mike was mean and argumentative a little bit. We all felt like he was a little aggressive.
Is Mike the one that don't like you to eat in front of him? Is that
no? He's the one that didn't want to kiss Kayla because Kayla had already kissed Zoe, and he's the one with me with the baggage
on camera.
Remember at that it was the date where they were throwing axes or something? And there's some barbecue.
Right.
Who was that didn't want the woman? Like he made a comment about, well, she ate before I did or something. Was that Zoe or Mike?
Where were we at?
I don't know if you were. I can't remember if you were on this day.
Was that Mike going at Kadian for
wasn't it? And he was like, and she ate. And I'm like, dang, she can't even eat. is
Right.
a turn off to eat.
Right.
I think she
Yeah,
was saying
he
he was
was
trafficking
very.
her with the chicken bone or something like that, right?
Oh yeah, he said yes.
Right.
Yeah, Kadian loves to eat. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. He did say that
Mhm.
because they were saying that all she does is run her mouth and eat.
Damn.
But what I'm saying is that for him to be like, oh my gosh, like this is Pinot Grigio, like prior to that moment, he had been like so like vexed at other women for simple things like eating, chewing. It was something else that I did because I was like, the nerve of this guy, like you can't even damn eat like what he wants you to do, be hungry. So so then we come here and it's like the finer things in life. I'm on Pinot Grigio now. And I was like, well, which one is it? Like what
I
you
mean,
know?
She
I
put him on
almost,
the game.
I almost feel like it was meeting the parents that probably solidified it. You know, like if he, I don't know how he feels, but if he felt like he couldn't measure up with Kayla, I felt like he may have felt like he would never be able to, you know, be
Fill those shoes. Well,
good
Kayla's dad
in
is
the
a doctor.
parents' eyes, you know.
Yeah, but see,
I agree.
it's such a shame because women, a lot of women like Kayla, there's a lot of women like Kayla in the DMV, or successful women that put their career first, right? Didn't have children, and now they have those really good high-paying jobs, things like that. And these guys are meeting these women, and some of these guys didn't put their career first, and they had babies and kids, and they had to get out in the workforce and do blue collar work and things like that. So they have smaller salaries, and then they meet these quality women that has, all of these attributes, and they measure themselves up next to a woman. And I feel like a man should not measure who he is based off of his worth. It should be based off of how he stands up in his shoes. Do you know what I mean?
Easy. That's easy to say, Paul. Like
No,
I know a lot of dudes that struggle. I have cousins that struggle.
yeah, yeah. No, it's easy to say, but it's also achievable. And I feel like some women are just looking for people that could be a partner. Now, obviously, there is earnings potentials has to be, you can't like have a Burger King salary, and you're dealing with a CEO of a corporation that's bringing in, $700,000 a year. That ain't gonna cut it. But sometimes a woman will look at that drive and understand, your background, some of the things that you went through, and really gravitate to who you became from what you had. You know what I mean? And are willing to build with you based off of that because they know you're a good partner. And at the end of the day, you can't buy yourself into a great relationship, but if you can be a great partner, and and support somebody, and I think that's worth more than more than you could ever.
I feel you, Paul. I'm not saying it's impossible.
Right.
It's just rare because I feel like women have standards as well.
Well, they
You know what I
do.
mean? When you bring a
And
guy
then
around your friends, around your parents, you're
yeah, but
expecting a certain something.
but there are but those same women right now are single, and they're saying,
But that's
I
okay.
can't get a guy because most men are intimidated by what I do, or who I am, or what I'm worth, or what I have. And a lot of times those women are just like, look, I just want somebody to be there with me, somebody that can support me, somebody that can build with me, somebody that has these attributes. I mean, you know, and it
I
doesn't
feel
happen.
you. I
Yeah,
feel you. I'm only pushing back a little bit because, I have a sister 3 years younger than me,
yeah.
20 years in her career. She got a home,
Hmm.
and she says she runs into men all the time
Hmm.
that get intimidated just by coming to the house and
Right.
her cooking dinner, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I kind of blame that on the men. Step up. And if you know that this is something that you can't handle, then peace out, you know?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Sometimes though, Ty, sometimes it's not even, it's not, I don't think it's about stepping up.
But
I think I mean, I think sometimes society does people better than others. I mean, like you and I, we could have went to the same schools, graduated with the same degrees, and you can get the job at the same company and you might be the president. And I still might just be entry level or whatever because of one thing or another. It doesn't mean that,
I feel you. I feel
yeah.
you. But they got whole songs about it. I ain't saying she a gold digger.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
I don't know
I
too many men
recognize
that are
that.
happy and available when their financial status is not there. When they don't
Well,
have financial
I
security,
agree.
they're not present enough or happy enough with themselves to be present and do what it requires in a relationship, just the basics.
Yes,
Yeah.
And a woman
I
can't
understand.
fill that hole for them, no matter
Now,
how
I
much money
understand
she
that.
has or don't.
Yeah, if my bank account was ever at a certain point, I probably would go crazy. I probably would be in the house. I wouldn't want to talk to people. But you know, you can overcome that.
With some money.
I mean,
Yeah. It's really that simple.
With some money. Money make a lot of things
And
happen.
I feel like you would want a woman who feels some way about herself. You should want a woman that has a high expectation, right?
yeah,
right.
Like, don't be accepting substandard. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, okay. So is there something wrong if I came to the, and I'm just saying, if I came to the table and I had $5 million, right? And but here it is. I met Beyonce. Should I not ask her out?
But you ain't bagging Beyonce. She's
No,
giving her 5 million.
If I no, but if I could, if Beyonce
But
was
you
available
ain't.
and we were in the room,
But if
should
she was
not,
single,
should she not talk to me because I only got
I
five?
think the question is, with your 5 million,
I
would
don't
you
think
feel
yeah.
comfortable? Would you, Paul, feel comfortable walking in Beyonce's home? Beyonce's home.
I
With
mean,
your 5 million.
okay, can I be honest with you? I would love to do that only because I would say, okay, now I know exactly what I need to do to step my stuff up.
Yeah. You'll
You know
say,
what I'm
let
saying?
me add my 5 million to your 1.5 billion.
No, I wouldn't. I
Now we
mean,
got one. Like, what
exactly.
you
Yeah,
do?
you know what I mean? We got 1.5 billion plus my
Plus my
5
5
million.
million.
Yeah, we
Come
good.
on.
So
Okay,
then
You know you wouldn't
so
feel
then
comfortable.
Beyonce can only be with a
Okay, so
billionaire.
You know you
shout out
wouldn't
to
feel
Exactly.
Beyonce and Paul.
like there's certain
Look
women
who
you'll be
she's
like,
with.
I don't have a chance.
Man,
You know?
Jeff
How
Bezos'
do you
ex-wife is
know?
doing a
But
science teacher.
what if you run into somebody at the mall and they are a millionaire and you're not, and
I think
they
that's
come up
different.
to you?
Yeah,
But
that's
you're saying
different.
because you
I
know them.
mean,
Like,
I mean,
you know you
Tamara,
ain't
listen,
bagging
when
Rihanna.
Tia
I,
Lowry did it
I
with
don't
her husband.
I don't know that I dated. I don't know. I don't think I've ever dated a woman that's in my income bracket. But
Who you
but
hanging with, Paul?
I also would not date a woman in a Burger King income bracket either,
right.
right? But
but
I would
when women say that,
say that again.
but when women say exactly what you just said, it's a problem.
It shouldn't be.
Oh,
It
I
shouldn't
don't
be.
have a
you
problem with
literally
I
just
say it
said
all
that.
the time. If you
nothing.
work at Burger King, you can get with somebody else to work at Burger King. And at my age, I do not want to date a man who is not on my level or get on more.
Period. It's really simple.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, that's like the little what you call when the trigger terminology when women only want 6-figure men, blah 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 blah.
Right.
Well, that's fair, but there's a lot of women in that same income bracket that want something equivalent to them. Hey, Lola.
So the only thing
They see my dog.
the only thing that I really care for is this. If I go down, right? Like, if something happens, I get hit by a bus or, I get ill, whatever. I need somebody that's going to be able to step in and take care of everything that I already put down. That's it. I don't want somebody that's going to, do more than me or do this, do that. As long as they can still hold the house or hold everything else down that I already or that we already established, I'm good with that.
Okay, well, that's your standard and your preference then. That's cool. You can have that.
The only thing that, I mean, like, I see all that, and I just want to highlight the fact that you said that a lot of women, you know, only seek, like, one of the big things we seek from our partners is that emotional support. So I appreciated you saying that, and that's probably like one of the few things I agree with coming out of your mouth.
Oh.
Hey.
Okay, so moving forward, I'm not going to ask you guys if you have anything else to say. Moving forward, I love you guys. So Randall will be introducing Kayla and Jamala to his brother Marcus. Kayla talks about how Randall didn't disclose to her the closeness of his relationship that he had with Jamala. Kayla tells Randall's brother that she really wanted to be with Randall, but Randall started to back off when she started to get closer to Mike, and he had a problem with it. And his brother asked the question. She's like, I don't really want to answer. Randall like, go ahead and answer. She's like, wait a minute, because when we went on a date and I asked you questions, you act like you didn't want to say anything and you felt pressured. Now it's my turn. She's like, I just don't want to answer the question. So his brother, so she starts explaining that, and she's like, no. And his brother starts to look at her like, whoa. Randall says that it's that uncertainty and that she really, she just didn't have it, and it was the uncertainty for him with her. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I wish Randall would have just told her a long time ago, like, I won't be with Jamala, period. Like he knew, and the fact that, you know, and I understand it's a process. But don't tell Jamala over here on screen where we can see it. They can't see it, but we can see it. And you like, just chill. You know, I'm gonna choose you, boo. You know, it's gonna be me and you in the end. But you over here like, well, you know, I'm still trying to make a decision. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know. Like, I really care about you. I really care for you, you know. And he like, we trying to do this thing right, girl. We try. That just made me feel some type of way. Like when all that just played out, it just made me feel like, and with Mike, I just feel like that they really just played Kayla. I said it episodes ago that she should have self-eliminated, you know, that her guy just wasn't there. But, you know, people were playing that game. So, you know, but anywho, thoughts?
It's kind of hard to self-eliminate, you know.
Explain it to us. Was it because I think somebody actually said that in the comment section that Kayla wanted to self-eliminate and they didn't allow her to?
Right. Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to self-eliminate because the producers are trying to produce a show. You know what I mean? That's what I will say.
Excuse me.
They're trying to get a show. So the more you start eliminating characters, then how can the story keep going on?
Right.
So, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a few people who wanted to self-eliminate. I mean, like I said, Swayze and Katie, and they've been wanted to self-eliminate. I don't know why they waited to the last day.
Oh, you mean like separate, like them not being together and they wanted to self-eliminate? Like
just be done. Like, yeah, let's leave. Like me, it's gonna be me and you, so let's just go.
Oh,
I wish the show would get on board
That
with
makes
that.
sense. That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Because now they're keeping us, the people that haven't made a connection, like we're up for elimination when they're not, when they've made it. Like we need to try to make a connection now. So like let them go home and be in love and let them work on that.
Yeah.
Like I completely agree. We even said that too for our season.
Yeah. And even let them come back later.
That's not an option. That's never
have a successful date where they actually show love and promote love between the two couples that have made it.
Like, imagine that.
Well, they
do that.
Think
like,
that. Okay, well, if you found your person, you guys just leave. But it's not that easy to just leave. Y'all know that.
Yeah, even if they don't leave, they could just don't have to film them anymore and be like, come back when we come to the mansion, or come back later, you know.
But they could have some standbys, like midway, even Tyrone and Sabrina in your season, they had the pool party and brought in Sydney and Sean.
They
So
should have brought us some more guys.
yeah, they should have brought.
praying to God.
Yes, they should have people on standby, ready to come on in when it's time, because it just doesn't make sense.
So
We need
Calvin
to
at
see
that
more.
I told Calvin at the reunion, I said I should have told him I had an emergency, just like you.
We got sidetracked again, Sabrina.
Sorry, Sabrina.
No, it's okay. So, what did you just say again, Sharese? What did you say?
I said I told Calvin,
yeah,
I should have left with you with an emergency.
Yep.
Calvin was like, "Oh my gosh, Sharese, I was on that stage at least 12 times. Wait till y'all see."
Oh yeah, that's how they do it.
Wow.
Calvin was like, he had an emergency. I spoke to Calvin for 2 minutes at the mixer, and next thing I know, y'all notice each person has an emergency every season. Like somebody leaves with an emergency.
Of course, it's the same format though. Everything, even like some of the same contrived scenarios is the same deal.
Yeah, Calvin was a nice guy. Is a nice guy.
Who is Calvin?
Calvin left. So remember we were talking about, I thought they were possibly the first dude person in, because we lost him at the mixer. So I guess they also, create some suspense with us, like, oh, are they going to bring another guy? But that's what we were hoping, that Calvin was going to get replaced, but he never did.
Yeah, I'm sorry, because Tommy reached out to me and asked me if I would fill in. I was like, hell no.
Oh, okay. I see.
No, I'm joking.
I see.
Are you joking, Paul?
Yes, I'm joking. Of course.
You know good and damn well nobody was about to reach out to Paul. The way he be talking about people. I
heard it was hard to find men here. The casting was hard.
You said what now?
Well, they have another season, so I wonder what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
Child. I don't even know if I want to know.
About what?
This next season?
So does anyone have anything else to say about Kayla and Randall?
No, because Kayla should have.
Well, I do.
Last episode.
I
have nothing to say about them.
One thing I did like is how Randall casually said, "I'm not picking you."
Was finally casual. That was not casual.
I don't think it was casual. I don't even think it was edited like that.
He
said the way he was like, "I ain't picking you. I just ain't picking you."
I felt like that could have been I felt like that could have been an email. That could have been a text.
Right. Yeah.
Why are we still having a date?
Ask yourself, is this textable?
I felt like
we're on a show. They couldn't just text it.
I just would have given her a little bit more. For a man that's to say that he really cared for somebody and really had feelings for someone, I expected a little bit more from Randall when he told Kayla that he wasn't choosing her. Like, I wanted him to be like, I care about you, this is a process, but we have to make a decision. And right now I just feel like that I'm more connected with, Jamala. Like, I wish he would have done that instead of, I just ain't picking you. Like, what? I mean, I understand, like, that's what she wanted, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It'd be like that delivery. And like,
I thought it was dope. I mean, not dope, but not dope like in that respect, but I thought it was dope how they threw it in there and how they made it aggressive, because I feel like the way that he was saying it, he had I think he had a smirk on his face. You got a face of, you have a picture of it?
Of course I do. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Because I think he had a smirk on his face and he was like, I ain't picking you.
I'm not picking you. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying I don't think it was edited. Like, the audio just sounded off. I was like, I really liked Randall. I didn't like the fact that he had like that Phil vibe where he just was like, I'm gonna just stay in the background and I'm gonna just be nice, you know, and see how this goes. He did kind of lose me after the date with Tranika.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Randall was the one who was making me try to figure out, you know, how you could be indecisive. You know, and I was like, Tranika, Kayla, you know, and Jamala, they're all great. They would all be great choices, right? But like I was saying, I felt like this was filler. I don't feel like it needed to happen. You know, we've had conversations with Jamala and Kayla, and I felt like, even though if he didn't say it, I felt like Kayla pretty much said what Randall's choice was because of who he, you know, stayed in the room with at the at the mansion
Both nights.
And then we were like, then we asked her about self-eliminating then, and then, you know, we asked her again about why did she stay, because we thought it was going to be for Mike, but then she ended up saying she stayed to have the conversation because Randall asked her to stay so they could talk. And remember we was like, damn, like what is there left to talk about?
No, but it seems like
you know what I mean?
I don't know if y'all got this from that scene, but it seems like the person that she wanted to like her back was Randall, and that maybe the relationship with Mike was a filler. But in the conversation, it was like, I'm not picking you, but she continued to have a conversation with him. Like she continued to sit there and chop it up with him, which made me believe that she thought that he would be like, well, we can still work it out or something. Like when he said it to her, she didn't flinch. She wasn't offended or anything. So I felt like she just thought that they would continue a conversation and maybe he would come to his senses. I see you showing her cutting his food up for him. Just
so
to
like
tell him, just for him to tell her I ain't picking you after she done cut that steak up in them little bitty pieces for his mouth.
So my thing is what made her feel so comfortable that she could just take his plate and cut his meat up. They had some type of I'm not gonna just start cutting up Tyrone meat just cause. Like it's a reason why I'm cutting up his meat. You see what I'm saying?
Remember when we said it to her, and we were saying, you know, I think Kayla's for the shits. You know what I mean?
Every time you say it sounds so funny.
That competition thing she likes. I feel like she likes the pursuit, the hunt, and being able to read and manipulate the men emotionally, right? And I feel like subconsciously it's hard for the guys, especially those guys, to turn that off because they feel like, you know, we can get some things popping with Kayla. You know what I mean? And I feel like she could sense that and like manipulate that a little bit.
So you're saying that her being super girly and cutting someone's food up for them, that was a form of her own manipulation?
I feel like she was enjoying the fact that they couldn't decide.
Shareese been awfully quiet. I want to hear something from Shareese.
What's going on? So yeah, with the Randall and Kayla, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what we talking about.
Wait till y'all see that reunion, hunty.
Yeah, to be like both of these men, you know, they can't tell their women who they want.
I was sitting there because Randall's my friend, Kayla's my friend, Jamala, we were cool on set. And I always said, like, Jamala, with all three of these ladies, Randall got something different. Jamala missed me when she started acting the way she started acting, but I could understand. I had to give her grace because her connection, you know, for them to all be under one roof, it was stressful for Jamala. I just think that Jamala's only connection was always Randall. Like, who else would she have any connections with?
Didn't she say Mike at some point?
We talked about something backstage.
Oh, I'm not sure, but I know that Randall and Kayla, that did come out of nowhere. And I
I'm here
think
for it now.
somebody did say that Kayla was trying something different with Randall.
So you just made me think of something, Sharice. And I remember saying something about Kayla being competitive and Kayla wanting to win, but to whose demise? Do you know what I mean? And I was like, we don't know what's going to happen, but I'm hoping that Kayla's competitive spirit doesn't end up, having the guy lean towards her in the end and having it mess up something that could have been good, So, guess we'll see at this reunion.
Yeah, and Kayla's 30 years old. She's growing, she's learning, she's young. She has a big heart. It's just that the way this is all playing out at the end is a mess.
It looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
And
A lot of space
boy.
between Ra and Mala.
Oh boy. I got a nice jacket though.
I like the little purse. Okay, but
Purse
that's
got its
fine.
own seat.
I don't know.
Well, this is gonna be wild. It just took everything out of me. I think at one point they asked me on stage, and I was like, my name Bennett, and I ain't in it because I know all the tea.
Okay.
I'm gonna need to get a cup of
But I
that
tell
tea.
y'all one thing: Jamala wasn't playing with Randall.
As she should, Is we grown or not? We talk about that all the time. You're muted, Sabrina.
And
but you have to also remember too, like Randall kept saying, like, I'm invested in Jamala. I'm invested in Jamala.
Mm-hmm.
They slept together on the trip in the same room. So when
I thought you meant they slept together like this.
So my thing is when she kept saying that when he kept saying that he was invested, it made me realize, or it made me feel like he's invested because maybe they were intimate. They were already kissing on camera. They were sleeping in the same room that we saw. So I'm just going off of that. So I'm like, maybe he hadn't really taken that step towards, that way with Kayla. So that's why he was more invested with Jamala. So he was kind of in a position where he kind of felt like I'm like, we smashing, like, I kind of, the way she acted, the way that Jamala acted is, you better pick, like, what?
Yes,
See what I'm saying?
I mean, what business does a man have sleeping with a woman in the bed with her without wanting to be with her romantically, or
serious?
That's what I'm
You know what?
Come on, Paul. You know that can happen. It's called damn intimacy. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, I just feel like that was his investment.
You did managing fast.
No, not at all. I'm just saying. But what I'm saying is this: when is it appropriate for men to just start laying in the bed with women overnight?
I think that's an appropriate question.
As a part of the getting to know you process. Like, I don't think I need to lay down in the bed with you to get to know you, to build intimacy.
Well, in these circumstances,
That's also playing in the bed together. I'm not gonna just be like, you want to spend the night at my house tonight? Come on, Rob. Let's spend the night. No, you can't do nothing. No, we gonna watch TV, but you just gonna spend the night, and that's it. Don't touch me. You gotta stay on your side.
But remember, there was talk about a message that needed to be sent, and the women looking for a message, right? So maybe that was part of the message, saying, "Hey, like, I'm with you. There's really nothing else to question me about.
You know what I mean?
I'm sleeping in the same room with you." And then when he made that comment about do the other women even care? I think that was really telling.
Oh, I
Yeah.
get it now. Because
Mhm.
obviously they don't care. Because he like, I'm sleeping with you, but they still trying to get at me. So what you want me to do? So
And
I
it's a
guess,
game for it, you know, it could appear as a game to some of the other ones, to
yeah.
him with some of the
Yeah.
other ones.
Mhm.
Or
Mm,
maybe he know they don't care.
yeah. I mean, because think about it. Kayla saw Mike sleep with Brandy. She saw, well, whatever, stayed in the same room. She saw Jamala stay in the same room with Randall. And then after that, I think she went and talked to like her friend or her sister. And she was like, I don't know who I'm going to choose. Like, I just don't know. I'm confused. And I swear I was looking at the screen. It was on my reaction party. I swear I was like, don't need none of them want you, boo. They don't want you. Like, you don't have to choose anybody because neither one of
Yeah.
them are choosing
Yeah.
you.
And it's another reason why there's nothing about you that I need to change, because I don't really care that much to change
Right.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
I got to put in work to reassure this one over here. Keep her calm.
Right. And they like, shoot, she ain't gonna go nowhere. Screw it. I'll let her stay. Like, boo, don't
Well,
worry
that's
about
true.
it. She ain't
That's
going no,
true.
don't worry. She ain't nothing. She is not a threat, girl. She ain't a threat. She ain't gonna go nowhere though. Just relax.
That's true.
Like, that's what I got from it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Okay, does anyone have anything else to say about Kayla? I'm sorry, guys, because we almost 3 hours in. Y'all know I don't try to be too long. Okay, so Randall will be introducing Randall and his brother meet Black Inside. Randall says Jamala is cool. Randall and his brother are meeting Jamala now. His brother asked Jamala, do you think that you can trust him? He says, do you see yourself long term with Randall? She says yes. His brother confirms that Randall will be real and authentic if y'all end up together. Randall walks Jamala to the car. They kiss and she leaves. Back inside, Randall's brother asks Jamala, Randall's brother, and says that Jamala is cool and that he doesn't see Randall with Kayla. Randall says that his brother loves Jamala, but he still likes Kayla, and it's now time for him to make a decision in this process. So him and Kayla, him and Jamala have a date with his brother, and it seems like they hit it off. Any thoughts? Any thoughts? Any thoughts?
I always say the family gonna tell on you without telling on you.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one thing that the brother said that stood out to me. And the brother, I think the brother said something like, "You see yourself with him?
So
With
who,
him?"
Randall?
Yeah, pointing at Randall. And I thought that was telling. I don't know. I ain't gonna say where I'm leaning with that, but to me that was telling. Like the brother knows, you know. The brother knows his brother, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, to me, this date was true Jamala and Randall fashion. That nothing stood out too much to me, or it just seemed like another date. I expected her to show up the way that she showed up. I kind of it was expected. There was nothing unexpected about it or anything. It was just
You kind of quiet over there.
Actually, I liked talking to her outside of the thing.
Shareese been quiet for like 10 minutes now.
Right? Real tight-lipped over there.
Because I can't wait for y'all to see Friday. That's all I'm gonna say.
Come on, can Friday get here?
This whole Jamala Randall, King Randall. See, that's why I had to start out with King Randall.
I remember that.
I remember that.
Because you were the one that said that. Yep.
And people wanted to have a problem with her saying that, and she ain't say nothing wrong.
And then when y'all saw me going off, because they was telling me I need to humble myself as an older woman.
Oh Lord!
Oh, come on.
Who said you needed to humble you? Did I miss
that?
that?
I missed that too. I
remember on the brunch when I went off. Yeah. All y'all saw was me go off when I was like, no, I'm not catering to a man. Because they were telling me, like I said I love catering to my man, but they were saying like even more so now that that's what they feel like women who are older should cater to men even more so.
See, I felt
I like
like
that.
that was cut up. Of course.
Yeah, that I felt like that one was.
And that was the part that was left out. Was,
Yeah.
you know,
You could tell because it just didn't make
and
sense.
that's upset because I did not say. Shakira said that I say you ain't no king. I didn't say that.
Yeah, and you said that you didn't say that, and then when I literally went back, and then I think Randall was like, "Yes, you did." I went back and watched that. I was
And
like,
you didn't.
She
I
did.
I watched it twice. I watched it twice.
I was like,
too.
she did, and I was like, oh wait, she didn't.
I did. I didn't say you ain't. I don't talk like that. I would never say you ain't no king. First of all, I was trying to give him a compliment and the ladies a compliment by saying, "Look at you over here being served like a king."
Yeah.
And again, I had to try to get to these men because.
Well, that's how I received it when you did it. That's why I watched it twice because I was like, oh Lord, here comes the other feedback. And I was like, let me watch it again just so I can have my shit together.
They started that unnecessary drama. And then I was shocked at the reunion they didn't play that back.
Wow.
Because I felt like, and Randall kept calling me, oh, we know what really happened. And I'm like, no, you need to say what really happened.
Yeah. Well, I had vindication at the reunion, just like Sabrina did. So we wish you would have had your moment as well.
Girl.
I love the evil laugh though at the end.
Which one?
Sharreese. when you get
do the laugh, P.O.
What?
Do the laugh.
No, she just did it. No, is what I was saying after she was talking about that situation, and she said did the little evil laugh at the end. It's all good.
And P.O., what you trying to get you a play fix right now?
No, actually, I just ate. Yeah. I just ate.
I hear that tone getting real soft.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't fooling nobody, Mr. I Deliver.
Fundy.
Right. Does anybody have anything else to say about Randall and Jamala? No? Okay. So Randall wants to take Kayla out one last time. Randall begins to tell her that he wasn't a fan of Kayla, or his brother wasn't a fan of Kayla. She was more into herself than Randall. And Kayla asked Randall, so how do you feel about what he said? And Randall said that he thought that, it was good. And she was like, I thought that too. And that's when Kayla begins to cut up his meat. And she asks, how did his brother feel about Jamala? Randall says that he liked Jamala. And she says, pretty much at that point that she was like, I can't even eat right now. I'm not even hungry. Randall drops his fork on the floor. It gets a little weird and awkward. And she's like, so what's going on? What about us? Pretty much like, what are you going to do? What do you want to do? What's going on? Da, 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 da. And I think, let me get back to my notes because I'm getting beside myself. She says that you have to make a decision. And he says that, okay, I'm not picking you. Randall says that this was hard because he really cares for her. She says that she should have kept her focus on Mike because she knows that connection is real. And then decision day is here, and that's when they make their decisions on the bridge. So this is Randall not choosing Kayla. Any comments on this? I mean, we kind of already discussed it, but any other comments?
I wasn't surprised that he didn't choose Kayla.
Yeah.
I think all of us probably feels the same.
I think he was felt very obligated to Jamala.
Yeah. But I think because to be honest with you, when Kayla was on with us, I even mentioned it to her. I had to say to her, we get it because we see everything. You don't know what they're doing over there. You know what I mean? And now that you're watching it back, I could imagine the embarrassment she probably felt, her constantly showing up for these men and these men constantly not showing up for her at all. like on national TV. And, I know I would have felt some type of way, but, she, I mean, she lived in her truth. She did what she felt she wanted to do within this process, and that's what happened. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out in her favor, because I swear, towards the end, she was like, somebody's going to get hurt. She was like, because it's 2 guys, it's 3 women. She's like, somebody's going to get hurt, and I just hope it isn't me. I think she said something like that. And I'm looking at it like, it was you, like 3 episodes ago. Like, we knew, but she was like the only one that did not get the memo. And it was just so heart-wrenching to like watch it back, I guess. I don't know. But for me, anyway. So no one has anything else to say. Okay, so moving forward. My notes say Mike chooses Brandy and Randall chooses Jamala. Go. That's all.
Good for him and good for them.
Right.
It just all felt, I don't know. I guess this is a full circle moment where I'm just like, as just a viewer, to watch Mike and Randall waver so much to this last second, I just couldn't be that excited. I would love to be excited for Mike and Brandy. I would love to be excited for Randall and Jamala, but it wasn't giving because of the indecision. And indecision to me is a decision. And to do all that, it's just not sexy. It's not romantic. It doesn't give me the feels. I'm just like, all right.
I just hope it's for the right reasons. You know what I mean? There's a lot of scrutiny that comes with sitting on that couch with someone. You know what I mean? And if it don't work out for the wrong reasons, America's going to skewer you, right? And I'm just hoping that they can handle it. I wish them nothing but success if that's what they chose. But if it don't turn out right, it's not going to end well for them. And I worry about, their sanity, their mental health, all that. So you don't really win. There's really nothing to win, by choosing someone if you don't really want to be with them.
That's true. There's definitely a lot of pressure on the folks that chooses each other. Like you choose somebody, it don't matter, because if you break up with them, it's going to be you didn't like them and you did it for TV anyway. Yeah.
And remember, you get the check, so.
Yeah, I remember that. I get that big ass.
He's asking me what was the end goal for somebody earlier, though, Paul. So.
Right.
Yeah. Hold up.
There's no prize money. There's no dates. There's no.
Yeah.
We're not paying for counseling, weddings, nothing.
Like, where does everyone think?
Soap opera.
Like,
well,
we get a huge prize because we made it to the end.
Yeah, I mean, we don't get a trip. We don't get
anything.
Nothing. No, we can't even go to Cancun. Like,
hey, you see what they told them what they was gonna win, and Randall was like, "I'm still waiting on the helicopter,
honey, and the mermaids, right?"
Tommy punked him with that.
I
know. A sound bath and a foot rub. He was like,
"Sure."
Yo, when
I can't lie. Like, well, the gift was cute. Like, it was. I guess it was one of those like infinity road, like flowers that Mike gave to Brandy. But the way he was carrying it, I was like, "The hell is in that box? How you carrying it
like a skull or something?"
Yeah, I was like, "Is that a head? Like, was it gonna be a head or something? Like, what is in the damn box?
Not a head."
Right.
It was so scary to me. I was like, "What is he about to open his box and what's gonna be in it?" And then it was like the pretty little infinity flowers.
Yeah,
but then it was still like, now you gotta pull out the drawer, and it was so awkward because he's holding this in the middle of the beach with this big old box.
Right.
And it was like, I choose you on the strawberries.
It's a yes.
It's a yes. Like, it's a girl.
Yeah. I definitely was scrutinizing those, because if there was ever a time to buy some roses
and a bottle of champagne on a damn beach,
right now would have been that time.
Yeah, get you some Pinot Grigio.
Now, how dirty would that have been if he would have popped up with some Pinot Grigio
Right.
and damn strawberries?
Right.
Yeah, I would have fell out my chair. I would have fallen out my chair.
Yeah.
Them strawberries. Wow. Wait to the reunion. This is crazy. I forgot about those strawberries.
I missed it. Tell me what's up with the strawberries? Because I know
We
she
got-
Evidently, she likes chocolate strawberries. So in the head box, you know, the box that he brought with what we thought was like somebody's chopped off head,
right.
with some flowers. It had a drawer underneath it with the chocolate covered strawberries that said it's a yes.
Is that like symbolic to something that Samson did or something? Like, why are y'all laughing like that?
No, well, Sharee said we gotta wait to the reunion.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
And then I guess we all gonna be laughing about these strawberries. I don't know. Dot.
Yeah, and then we said it would have been funny because you know how he was talking about, I just learned what Pinot Grigio is. So we were like, it would have been funny if it was Pinot Grigio with the strawberries.
No doubt.
She has such a cute little happy face.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so singing cute.
That's what Mike said that he loved about her is her face because she has that glow. She does. She has a sweet little face, like a little baby doll.
Mm-hmm.
So is it anything that you want to give us, Sharese, before we go about anything like maybe about the reunion or just anything?
Oh boy.
Somebody about to get told.
Look at the guys.
Wait a
Look at
minute.
their face like, dang.
Lazy's like, look at don't even look up.
Everybody looking at the flow.
Don't
Yeah.
even look up.
Wait, hold up.
Is that, I know that head.
Is that
Right.
is that Tommy though? That is,
In the back.
That's
Justice.
what's his name.
Justice.
Justice, bless his heart, y'all. Bless
And his pockets, please.
bless his heart. Sharese, did anybody have a connection with him?
Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Looney.
April had one too, I think.
Looney said.
Or no.
And this, did the commercial show who she was talking to? Sharese, don't answer. Did the commercial show who she was talking to right here?
Who's Sharese?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Katie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, I have that screenshot. I'll show it to you right now. Y'all know I be on.
Proof. She got proof.
Yeah, that's why when people be like, Sabrina said, nope, I took it right from the TV and I stopped and typed it as they were saying it. So, yep, she was talking to Katie and
Yeah. Sharese, you were talking to the back of your head and you had to get up and turn around.
Yes, because
just don't say nothing.
I mean, she can say it. She can say it.
Yeah.
Did they already show it?
Yeah, it's in the preview.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
That's where I got all these screenshots from.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't want to get all of us in trouble.
No, she threatened her. So I felt like
I'm out of my
What's
contract.
that lady name right there?
You gotta
That's
pick her.
April.
Yeah.
Oh, she looks pretty.
She's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
That's,
Gorgeous,
that's
honey.
a cute top.
Yes, I love me some April.
Yeah, she is gorgeous.
So who you talk? Who?
Well, first of all, she said to me, she was gonna beat the shit out of me and she was gonna slap me.
You said it on the reunion on camera.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Baby, get out my phone.
Yeah.
I've been in Mexico all weekend.
And that's why I stood up and I said, if you're gonna slap me, you better make sure I don't get up.
Too much for me. That's too much.
No, it wasn't.
Sharese, is this about to be the juiciest reunion, Sharese?
Yes.
That's what I heard.
It's gonna be crazy. It was all day
Wait,
long.
are the first two women to put the B word on this?
Why y'all gotta bring up O's?
Listen, I don't really. I tried to say bobblehead. I was trying so hard not to use profanity. Trust me.
I did, but
I
they
don't think
threatened
bobblehead
me.
was the B word I heard. Oh.
I was trying so hard not to go overboard. That was only Sharice 1.0 because it could have been. That's why I said I've changed.
Right.
Couldn't be me.
Mm-mm.
I don't even want to.
I was trying to go high.
All right, so guys, so listen to this because y'all know I can't really show too much, but I can definitely.
Jay came back.
I don't know, Jay with his tardy self.
Don't worry about me. I got this.
He felt left
Hold
out.
on, Mr. Bradley.
Now they talk about. I love these comments. Paul, they say we should go on a date.
Paul been trying to shoot his shot all night with his soft voice on top of your head, girl. You ain't noticed.
You ain't hear that.
He wants you to come. He wants you to cut his food up and call him Ken.
No, but I do want to talk to you though about a facial because I got light spots. I got some light and dark spots on my face. So you let
Way
me
to get in there.
Can
y'all hear? Can y'all hear this?
No, we can't hear it.
No.
Go support your booze business, P.O. We ain't mad.
I can't with y'all.
Here we go. I heard it. We heard a little bit of it.
Wait, rewind it?
Yeah.
Oh
We heard it at the last minute.
Okay.
Let me get in close.
Because I accidentally.
Well, she was sitting behind me. That's why I got up.
Hold on. Hold on, guys. All right. Can y'all hear it though? Can y'all hear it?
We heard the
Not
end of
yet.
it.
Okay.
Let me
We can't hear anything right now.
Swayze was yelling at Zoe. If Swayze would have been there, that whole thing with me and Zoe would have never happened. He wouldn't have did that to me in front of Zoe, in front of Swayze. I'm gonna come back after the reunion airs.
Oh yeah, please do.
They talking about Paul and Sharice might be a little vibe. I love your voice.
Your fake is why? Because I heard you had a sugar daddy? Bitch, I will slap the out of you. Let's be clear. You tried me like day. I will beat your ass. Ladies! Fuck!
Did y'all see it? Y'all know I'm not used to putting up.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Getting married.
Okay.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Sharice, I gotta ask.
Yes.
Do you have a sugar daddy?
No, I don't have a sugar daddy.
I said,
Dang.
did you have a sugar daddy?
Did I? Did I?
Yeah.
No, I said Kadian had one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was saying that she had one.
Well, what
that's
happened
what's
was when Kadian and Kadian liked to get people on the phone. So when I realized she was doing three-way calls, because I don't do three-way calls unless it's about money. It's a conference.
Who does three-way calls at?
Whoa,
Right. It was a three-way call where everybody knows.
She was listening to me and Swayze's conversation. She was doing some of the craziest stuff.
High school.
So one day she calls me up,
You
and I couldn't believe
like one person's not knowing the other person on the phone. Like, hey, I'm gonna call this person. Don't say nothing. Mute your phone.
Yes,
wow.
That's
Okay, go ahead.
She would call me and say, Sharice, Jamala wants to know, can I click her in the line? And I would be like, you know what? I got a bad connection. Once I caught on to the way she was doing things, I would just have to get myself out of the situation. So I couldn't believe it. One day she calls me up and she's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm so frustrated. You know, these guys are nothing. And I'm like, you know, whatever. She was complaining about the guys. I swear to God, she was in our hotel room with a guy. I heard the guy in the background. She had her dogs. She was talking to the guy like crap. And she was like, that's my ex-boyfriend. So I'm like, okay, well, we're only 2-3 weeks into the show, but why would you tell me something like that? So I was like, this is when she started to play the games. So I hear the guy with my own ears, and she's telling him to go out to the car, and she's like, you know, these guys don't have no money. She said, my ex just went and spent all his money on me at the strip club, and you know, these guys don't have no money. She said, her sugar daddy could take us out to eat if we wanted to go out to eat. And I'm like, what is she trying to play a game on me? And I'm like, no, because we weren't supposed to go out with each other. That's the thing. You can talk, but you can't go anywhere. And she said all of that to me, and I held on to it, and I held on to it until I couldn't anymore.
Wow. That's crazy.
Of course, she swears out that conversation. But why would I make up a whole why would I make that whole thing up? I'm not that crafty. Like, I don't have no reason to lie about this. She did it. And I was just like, wow, we're on a dating show, dating the same guys. And this girl pretty much just told me her business, told me her tea.
Her truth.
Yes.
It was her truth.
She didn't know how serious this whole show production. I mean, I feel like that about some of the people from our cast, from our season too. Like, I don't think people really think that they don't understand the severity of this, of everything, until it comes down to it. And it's like, oh shoot, I wish I wouldn't have said that. I wish I wouldn't have did that. I wish I would have done this. You know what I mean? Like, you don't think about it until after the fact.
And those were her feelings. She didn't like anybody. And that's when I started saying, you know, I saw a lot of myself, like the immaturity and how she's so outspoken. I used to be one of those girls, you know, and I know that I've changed a lot. And I was trying to be a good friend to her, but nobody can tell her anything. And I was telling her, you know, it's not about the money sometimes with men. It's about how much they're willing to spend on you, number one. But I told her with somebody like Swayze, is a very good job. You know, it may not be that fast money that you're used to, or athlete money, but he has a good job. You know, he makes money. He seems to have something you can work with, is what I was telling her. And then all of a sudden she ran with that, because I think she really also liked Zoe at first.
Katie,
that's
and
why she took up for Zoe whenever me and him. Right.
Wow.
That makes sense.
Okay. So does anyone have any closing remarks about Ready to Love episode number 12, just the show as a whole? Yeah, anything you want to say, closing remarks, because this, I mean, it's the end of the show. It's done. We're done. And then we have the reunion. So
I'll just say,
okay,
you know, this season felt like the most like produced show. Like, it felt like it, even from the beginning, I said it just feels like a solid dating show, right? It didn't feel like they were, you know, trying to promote love, really. Do you know what I mean? I felt like they just wanted to put something up there. So again, you know,
Can I say this? When you say like they just want it, don't you also believe that they have to work with what they get too? So
you're right. True.
No, they have to work with what they get too. So I mean, once you already pick the cast, you know, it was a lot to this season, a lot more than just production. It was also the cast.
Yeah. Okay. I believe that.
But like I've talked to the casting producer, who's like Black woman. She's casted all the seasons. They do a really good job of casting. I just feel like on this season, I didn't see any of those like instant spark connections where, like what you saw with Cliff and Joe. I called Clifton and Joy. I'm sorry, like that first mixer. I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna be together. Like it was a wrap, you know. And I was on Sabrina's show, so I just feel like there wasn't the chemistry that we normally see, like those organic sparks. And all of it, you know, at the end of the day, kind of developed like, okay, well, are you cool enough? And we the last ones left. So it kind of seemed more of that. No diss to anybody. Every season has theirs, you know, some are kind of forced, some are just naturally flow. But I didn't see a lot of natural flows on this one.
Right.
Or
even
like,
I mean, but Sharice, you were there. So maybe they just didn't show it through editing or.
Yeah. Or
I mean, I just think, you know, I was always a Ready to Love fan. I've seen all the seasons. You know, I think that the Texas and the Atlanta ones were great. So I think that Ready to Love people have a high expectation.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I've never done television before. I don't do production. I don't, you know, but for whatever reason, this did come off different. And I think it's also because we're in Miami, right? Where people are very superficial, and it is hard to have that. I mean, I'm from up north. This is a culture shock for me. If I'm up north, I got 25,000 dudes. Down here, I might have 20 because the pickings are, you know, so I think it's also the locations that they do these shows at. It's a part of it too. The locations, new producers, you know, new cast, new crew members, new camera crew. It's just different.
Is this what you thought it would be since you've seen all of them? And then I do have a follow-up.
I was very, very shocked when I got there, because one of the first things I said was, I closed my whole store. Like, I really went on there looking for love. I've been in business for 20 years. I don't have to go on television to get my business going. You know, my business is growing. Thank God I've come this far. And I've always been who I am. I didn't have to get on Ready to Love. I got on Ready to Love looking for love. There was no other alternative motives, you know. And I just feel like, yeah, I closed my store. I told all my clients I'll be back in 2 months with a ring on my finger and with a man. And so somebody was like, Teresa was a game show. And I'm like, yeah, somebody should have told me it was a game show, because that was not how I felt at first. You know, what are
behind
you
the back assist? I had a cough and it sounded like I said P.O. When you were talking about the ring, you know, with a man in a ring, you know what I mean? But go ahead. I'm sorry. It was
no, not that
bad
far.
water.
You know what I mean? I just knew that, like, okay, my person is going to be on this show. And so it was shocking. I thought it would be, but it just shows Miami is challenging to date.
So what was your favorite season? You said the Houston ones and the Atlanta ones were, you know, kind of to live up to whatever cases. So out of one singular season, no pressure with who's asking you the question, what was your favorite season?
Atlanta.
Oh, damn. You didn't get the whole lead in the hand up. That was
Houston was my fave.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, like, I like all the seasons. Like I said, I'm a Ready to Love fan, but I think that each city obviously is going to bring a different type of person. To me, the Atlanta one was more mature people. Like, y'all seasons was mature people and people who really had something going. And you know,
Jay season?
Atlanta and Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, y'all season had some questionable things.
And by things you saying men or like
Thank
that
you
too.
You were questionable, Jay.
I don't. Okay, so we're gonna. Somebody asked in the chat. We're gonna go and lob up to it, and I don't mean to take over that, but I love it when Ty asked this. Who was your favorite guy from each season? Like, that would be your kind of pick if you're on that season.
Oh boy.
P.O.'s up top, by the way. And Ty's.
Thank you.
You're funny.
Phil and Ty and Jay.
Okay, I'll take that. Just the whole.
No.
Overall...
You know what I really liked? It was I like Mike from Atlanta. The producers asked me that too.
Mike from Atlanta was fine as hell, baby, and he's still fine.
Oh, he's an actor, right? He's an actor. That Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
He a big sexy thing.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Y'all talking about Mike Bless?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's trimmed now.
Yes, but he's tall, right? He looks tall.
Yeah,
I never met him in real life, so
he might be a little shorter than me.
Oh gosh, now you one-upping him on your height. First is your credit score, and now it's your height. Okay, Theo.
Hey, it's all about the numbers.
It's all
about the numbers. Hey, listen.
Exactly,
you know,
like Corey.
Listen, if I'm 6'4", if I'm 6'4" and a half, I'm not gonna claim 6'4". I'm gonna claim 6'4.5", probably 6'5". You know what I mean? You can't take an inch or a half an inch away from a man.
No, you can't.
Period. Man.
Half an inch make a difference.
Them inches matter.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
Inches matter. Inches matter.
Right.
In
So
some situations, if you got to count the half, it's a problem.
facts.
Well, just short man, be confident and short. You know, don't be
Yeah.
lying.
Yeah, but so
Right.
I'll say this though about the season. Um, when I saw the season, it looked like a pistol loaded. Right? Here go another analogy. They
Uh-huh.
all they
Analogy,
had
bro.
they had the gun, they had the targets, and they had the aim, and they shot, and they just shot all over the place, and it went nowhere, and then it ended up hitting something all the way down in the street. So what I'm saying is that it seems like the way when I looked at this, it seemed like they took a group of people and said,
Mhm.
"Look, we just going to put this person into this mold, this person into that mold." Was the reason why, like Charisse, when I first saw you, like the first two episodes, I was like, I don't know, I don't really know if I like her. But then afterwards, I was like, okay, I get it, right? And I feel like they were trying to establish who you were going to be. They were going to set the tone and who you were going to be or what character role you were going to play. All
Mhm.
good. And just like the what's his name, Devin or whatever,
Yeah.
they had a role for him. So they had the role for, um Justice,
Mm-hmm.
all of these things, and it was just really a big bunch of nothing because no one knew what the hell was going on with this season until like episode 8. And
The
then
people
when it
on the season don't even seem like they know what's going on with the season. We're at the finale.
yeah, but that's what I'm
Because they
saying.
were confused to the very end.
Yeah, because that's what I
We
said.
all watched it.
They were shooting up the club, just seeing what the hell it was going to be, and then it ended up hitting some people at the end. So yes, there were probably two, maybe one and a half genuine connections that I saw established.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else was filler. It was
Anything.
contrived scenarios and stuff that just didn't make sense, but
Well, y'all
whatever.
see how I left with that
I
big
didn't
smile on
see
my face.
Not one connection this season.
Not one.
Not
Not
one.
one.
Not one.
Not
Period.
like I was waiting every episode all the way to the last episode. Like, okay, so they picked, but they know, it was a wrap.
And you couldn't
So,
even really see a whole lot of chemistry. Like you said, it was just not, it was a bunch of conversations, forced conversations.
did it feel forced in the process?
I would say it feels forced because, when you go and you want to talk about something and that person is still being surface level, then yeah, it is going to feel forced.
Are you talking about anybody particular? I just feel like you.
Oh,
I
who is
know what
the
shooting up the club
person?
is, by the way.
I was looking at the comments. Yeah.
P.O. I was like, I've never heard shooting at the club outside of.
I mean, I know that, but I
Don't
was being
say it,
literal.
Jay.
I was being literal
not.
when I said that.
I was getting ready to say, please, because I'm
trying to keep your ratings.
This is the PG me. I'm not.
I don't
PG
want
me.
to lose the credibility. Wait till
Right.
after in the
No,
live, then we could
It's not
discuss
RTL after dark, huh? Okay.
Sabrina after dark. Right.
Right. Nah. But I feel like it was overproduced. I think they gotta stop with these producers and put together genuine relationships that make sense, and then start creating these dates and creating these stories based off of the genuine connections. But what they do is based off of the data that they receive from all of us. They sit around when you go meet off the table full of producers and you sit there and you talk to them all. what they're doing is they're taking down all of these notes, and then they're selecting who they're going to pair you with based off of that data. And so they try to force these dates. If you notice, sometimes you might have dates with people and you're like, why the hell do I keep going out on dates with this person? And when I should be trying to go out on dates with that person, or I want to go out on dates with this person, right? They're producing that to get that storyline to create that static, that that moment where they can catch you on camera talking and saying, something that they'll use later that's going to be a great.
But here's the problem with that, PO. So like I get it, right? And they told me that they thought that me and Joy would actually probably be the fit, just based on our personalities and all the above. They knew that in the beginning, right? And that ended up being the case for us. It didn't work out, but it ended up being the case as far as the best options for the show. The problem is that when you get people there and then their issues run into each other, right, then it prevents the relationship from unfolding the way that they thought it would. And then you still have a show that you have to produce, right?
Understood.
So I feel like in this season, they was like, okay, we think so-and-so, or maybe, Sharice and what's the guy's name?
They was rooting for me and Samson.
Yeah, I feel like they probably knew that y'all were going to be a good fit. But once y'all hit a wall or you hit a speed bump, and the speed bump, is like 5 feet tall, there's nowhere to go. You still got a show to produce, And
I'm on a date with LJ, salsa dancing.
Right. I was, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is at the end of the day, they still have to allow natural.
Just here, right over your question.
I'm so sorry.
We know Paul got that production PTSD, so he
No.
Right.
No, but let me tell you.
No, Paul, we ain't about to do this all night, fam.
No, we're not gonna do this all night.
Right.
But let me just give you.
Sharice asked the question though.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
Go ahead and moderate, Jay.
What did you think about the LJ date? Because I got a lot of slack about that.
With the salsa dancing date?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. I remember y'all salsa dancing. I don't remember the date itself though.
Oh, okay. So my son.
I know Ty over there taking notes on everything. He got.
What did you think, Ty?
I didn't really see people checking for LJ like that, but obviously it seems like I was missing something.
So look, when LJ left though, right? Like, did it go down that way? Because it seemed like, because first of all, whenever you're watching the show and then they act surprised, nobody's really surprised. So is that really how it went down?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
yeah. He left and went on a work trip. That's really how it went down.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then me and LJ went on that date because Tommy told LJ and Zoe and Justice that they need to step their game up and start talking to more women.
Was Justice really how they painted him out to be, man? Like how he appeared on camera? Your mouth closed again. Okay. All right. Okay.
Wait, but y'all keep talking about this LJ stuff. I only remember 2 things about LJ. The date with the ex that still wanted him.
That they were still shooting at the club. Go ahead.
And I know she'll be the death of me, at least.
This song.
I can't get it out of my head. I forget everything else about LJ except that one. And then
Well, at the reunion, the little scene from the reunion, y'all all dating LJ. Y'all all sister wives now. Y'all see him on different days of the week and stuff. So he ended up winning, and he still got his ex.
Well, LJ, the one thing I will say about LJ is a good time. He's fun. He'll take you out. He's a good time. He's young. LJ lives close to me. A lot of these people, they live real far. Like Samson, I don't even know. And like, some of the guys you really hung out with after the show, and LJ is one of them. That we can go to happy hour. He's a Caribbean guy too, so they like to drink, they have a good time. LJ is a complete gentleman. Honestly, he's one of my.
But you know what? I liked LJ.
Yeah,
I liked him the whole season, and even when old girl came in trying to be like an add-in. when she thought they were gonna put her on the cast as a new contestant.
His ex-girlfriend, yeah.
His ex.
She thought that she was gonna be on the show.
Lauren. See, I LJ, he really liked what LJ liked about me was like LJ is one of those guys. He's like a Captain Save-A-Ho. So he was like, for once he wanted to date a woman that had something.
Jay, somebody's asking you a question. Oh, he's gonna plead the fifth. Okay, moving on.
No. Go ahead.
I said somebody's asking you.
Who would I date from another season? Oh. You know what? I had somebody that I thought I liked last season, the DC season, but that whole brown girl thing, like, I don't like mean girls. So I had to think about that, man. Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. What's the lady? Was it Tiffany from the Atlanta season? Yeah, little freckles, nice hair.
Cute. Tiffany.
Yeah.
Was that Mike's
I didn't see their whole season. I just saw their. I don't know how she showed up on the show, but I did see her on the reunion. I saw a little bit of the reunion from that season, and that's more my speed.
It was with Chocolaticity.
Yeah, I didn't watch the season. I just watched the whatchamacallit, yeah. So, and then you always have the yeah. I'm gonna leave it there.
That's all. That's the only place you're leaving it.
Well,
Oh,
Stacey, you like the Cuzzo now. You know what I mean? We found out we got the same last name, so that took that out the list. Can't be going to a family reunion and then all of a sudden, how y'all get here? Yeah, we can't do that.
So I wasn't asking about me, silly. Gross. Barf.
Oh my gosh. All right. So any other closing remarks that you may have about Ready to Love Miami, episode 1 through 12? Anything that you would like to add, Sharreese, to get off your chest, or anything that you would like for us to know that we haven't discussed? Something, just from any of the other episodes that you just want to talk about, or?
Not really. Not as you guys want to ask me. I do want to make it clear that kids are not baggage. The situation was baggage, but I do not think the kids are baggage.
Right.
Kids are a blessing.
And nor did you say that they were.
Thank you.
Right.
And I never told Mike that to his face. They can't. That was something that was brought back to him from the lounge. And 3 kids is a lot for me to handle. I tried it and it don't work.
Why did Tommy constantly feel the need to speak Spanish to you? Didn't he call you a cockroach one time?
Why does he keep saying that? No, he didn't call me a cockroach.
I think he did.
La cucaracha?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Well, I think he did say, he said, yeah.
He did?
He did. It was like when you were in the ladies' lounge or something, wasn't
Every time you walked in the lounge,
yeah.
you would say something in Spanish.
Well, I was saying something to him in Spanish. Remember, I said, "Hola, Tommy."
Okay.
And he said, "La cucaracha."
So Tyrone, someone wants to know, who would you date, Tyrone?
I liked Tiffany. I liked Tiffany.
I remember you
say, bro.
Yeah, I've always said.
Ty always moving in. Oh,
right. Huh? I can't have nothing.
No, I think I've been saying that for weeks, right?
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while. Yeah. So real quick, can we go ahead? I'm sorry to put you on the spot, Tyrone, but can we go ahead and clear the air once again? I mean, no, not this one. Because people keep asking
about the Ace thing. No, I'm not dating Ace.
No, he's not dating Ace anymore, guys. Yeah. Okay. All right. Moving on.
And no, I'm not dating Jay. Everyone.
Right.
But you guys were dating.
Yes.
What? Oh, yes.
Yeah. I met her at their premiere party back in January.
Yes.
And it ended 4th of July weekend.
Okay.
Oh wow, we got the beginning, the dash, and then the end of it.
This has meant something to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
They all my relationships mean something. I'm not.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, just to let all you singles know, single soulmates will be starting very, very soon. Make sure you come on, shoot your shot, put your info out there, and let everybody know that you are
So Ty, am I back to calling you logo?
Able and single, huh?
Well, since Ty is single again, I'll tell y'all. Y'all know I just met Ty a month ago. He smelled good, looked good. He was good. Everything y'all saying about him here is true. He's a good one. So I don't know who over there playing with my boy Ty.
So we're not playing with no testicles over here. Yeah, so I think we're just gonna move forward. All right, guys. So we are going to hold on. Did I say that wrong? Because I don't want y'all to be thinking that I was trying to say that I was playing.
No, you were making a joke. We got it.
Right.
Like it was
before we
in reference to the show.
My brother. Oh yeah. We don't roll like that. Anyway,
I just want to put something new in my mind so that we can have whatever that image was pushed out. Just you juggling balls is not what I want to go to sleep on. Like,
I know, because Jay's like my brother too.
I'm just like, take some hand sanitizer. Put it.
Oh God, Jay's gonna be calling me in the morning, nigga. I went to sleep. I couldn't stop it. All right, guys. Anyway, you guys know that I like to go around the panel at the end. So if you guys can let everybody know where to find you, your social and your deeds, starting with PO.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at 100 sightings, 100 sightings. I'm there all the time, 24/7.
It's yours.
Yes, I am Jamie Alexander. You can find me here on Instagram. Make sure to spell my name correctly. And I'm on YouTube under the same name. Yes.
Tyrone?
Jamie, I don't know if you got a new esthetician or that's your ring light, but your glow is phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
You know
Thank you.
yeah. Like a Jill Scott song or something. Just,
I've been checking it out.
Tyrone Wilson, thanks for having me. I'm at Ty Wilson 21, all over the place, every social media outlet. I did recently relocate to Memphis. It's going to be some trying times, so I'm going to need y'all support in the very near future. So, you know, I'm going to need y'all, so you're going to see me on a lot.
We'll be here for you. We love you. Bye.
All right.
Cue Michael Jackson, I'll be there. Jackson 5. Right.
At least you get the best of me.
Sharee?
Oh, I'm Shareese. You can find me at SHAREESE Logan and Logan Skincare. Did you get that?
Okay. Yep. So is this on your Instagram, your Twitter?
Instagram, you can find me at SHAREESE Logan, and then Twitter and YouTube is Logan Skincare.
Perfect. Great. Also, do you Sharese, do you have a website that they can
website, loganskincare.com. Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, Stacey B.
Well, you know, I keep it simple. I can only manage one social media thing with all these kids I got. So you got to find me at Stacey B at Instagram, Stacey_B.
And Jay. Oh, sorry, Stacey. Are you?
No.
Okay.
And Mr. Brad.
This is the same as my name on here, J Brad. That's it on Instagram.
Oh yeah, my website, by the way, is
Oh, hell no.
www.IKeepItRealInTheMofo at alltimes.com.
Where that book at? Paul, where the book at? Where your book at, Paul?
The book, I'm telling you, the book is going to be sick. It's coming.
Oh my gosh.
It's
All
coming.
right, guys. And you know, I am your host, Miss Sabrina. So you can find me on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere. It's Miss Sabrina Soul, and I appreciate everyone taking the time out tonight to join me. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with me, and also everyone in the chat, everyone that watched this live, and anyone that's watching the replay. I appreciate you guys so much. Without you, there is no me. And shout out to my very, very, very beautiful special guest, Miss SHAREESE Logan. Thank you so much. We enjoyed watching on our TV screens as well. Anyway, do not forget to catch SHAREESE Logan on October the 27th on The Missing Link, as she actually talks more about her being an esthetician, the behind the scenes of what she does for a business, and so much more. So do not forget to check that out on October the 27th. Do not forget to like this video. We would so greatly appreciate it. I would so greatly appreciate it if you have not subscribed to my channel and to all their channels. Please do so when we click this end broadcast button. Until then, we will see you on the next live.